Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Oh my gosh. Hi, you guys. Crazy Mama, Texas Tiff, Nadie, Jen Lou in the house. Wait. Oh, Elizabeth Short. Okay, you scared me for a second. I know. I love that. Hey, you guys. Where's LFT? We have such a treat tonight. I'm so excited. This was so last minute, but I'm so honored. We're just doing a chit chat with creators tonight. And I'm going to pull up. Are you guys okay with being on cam? Give me a thumbs up, both of you, if you don't mind. Okay. And I'm going to pull up Kate from Kate Does Crime and Positively Parker. And hopefully my partner in true crime will show up here. Hi, Criminality. Thank you. We're going to try not to overlap you. We're introducing our live stream, and then everyone goes over to Criminality at 9 p.m. And watches Teresa and probably Michelle and maybe Christine W. Just like all the things, all the people. I'm going to pull up hold on one second. Here's Kate. Hi, and there's Parker.
Hello,
people.
Hello.
How
if
are
you hear like hacking up a lung in the background, it's just my son is sick, so he's fine now. He's
okay?
fine. Yeah,
Hi,
he's fine.
Oh, there's LFT.
I love your like intro. I was like,
me too. I know.
Oh, thanks, you guys. You
like
know,
crazy.
It's so funny.
The music
it's
and everything. It was so intense. I was like,
it's very intense, isn't it? It's kind of creepy. The first time I played it for LFT, she was like, no. And Crazy Mama was like, yes, we're so using that.
Where is LFT? Oh, there she is.
There she be, right there. How are you guys? Happy Friday.
I'm good.
Happy Friday.
So,
good.
I'm trying.
Kate always looks like all put
supermodel?
together and stuff, and I always look like it's the end of the day. So wears back, sweatshirts, hoodies on, and I mean, not that I look put together during the day.
Makeup on, so
she's hot.
Not a lot,
face it.
just a little.
She's hot.
Yeah.
What are you guys working on? I'm so curious. I know. I already know.
A lot. No. Delphi.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if Richard is, a serial killer, which I think it is. I just don't know to who yet.
I think so too.
I do. You just don't. I don't think you wake up at 45 and then live and do something like that, and then live comfortably in your town for
Yeah, I agree.
Years on end. Quentin a little bit, but I mean, what is there to cover that much about Quentin other than the train wreck? And
I know.
Yeah, I've been on the Delphi kick. Quentin a little bit, but once it started getting like circusy, I was like, I'll go back to this. And I haven't covered this yet, but I've been super following that poor woman, Ashley Bush, the one who
I just told them about it.
Yes,
I pulled up the arrest affidavits for him. Oh my gosh, it's awful.
I need to hear this. Parker messaged me and said, "Have you heard about this case?" And I was like, "No, but you'll be presenting it tonight." So I'm so glad that you're both have information.
She was pregnant, like close to her due date, like what, 36 weeks, I think it was, something like that.
She had 3 weeks left. So maybe a little bit less than that, but yeah, she had something crazy little left to go.
Yeah, and
31 weeks pregnant.
Kind of like a Heidi Broussard, Megan, whatever her last name is. I don't remember how to pronounce it. But she basically was like under this, Ashley Bush was under this name Lucy Barrow, which is kind of weird because isn't that Bonnie and Clyde's last name?
Yeah, it is.
Clyde Barrow or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So I was like, maybe there's like a connection there, but she's under this name Lucy Barrow. And she was going in all these like maternity groups or baby stuff and saying like, oh, I have clothes for babies. And she was supposed to meet a couple people, but she ended up, so I guess Ashley's husband got back surgery and couldn't work. And she was desperate for a job, something she could do at home because she was pregnant. And this lady was like, oh yeah, you can do an interview. And she met her at this library and then they had an interview and then she said she would need to meet her boss. So they met again.
At the Handy Stop, which...
at like a gas station.
Stop.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading the affidavit right now, so I'm like right to the part what Kate's talking about right now. So.
And she was supposed to get dropped off. So this is what is kind of confusing to me, but I guess maybe she was going to drop her off and then, maybe she panicked and was afraid and then changed her mind. But the husband went to go pick her up and she drove off with the wife. And the husband saw her drive off and he tried to like follow them for a little bit and lost the car. And the phone was found in a ditch, like, a little ways away. And she was just found dead, her and her baby. And I believe she got caught because they called 911 and said the baby wasn't breathing or something. Oh and obviously it wasn't their baby. And I went through the lady's TikTok and she had like an ultrasound.
Wait, TikTok. Is this the woman who got pulled over and saying that she was in labor?
Yes. No, she got pulled over with the baby because they had the baby. They took the baby.
Yeah, they called 911 and said I guess they cut the baby out of the girl.
31 weeks. So obviously the baby needed to be with more care. And they called... I just can't even. The horrificness. I'll have to send you all the affidavit that her body was still like they just hacked her right up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they just hacked her right up. Okay, yeah, that she did get pulled and the baby was in the car, but she said it was because she just gave birth in the car and oh my God, it was so gross. Yeah, I just heard about this.
A lot of people thought it was the husband, but
yes.
But people started looking into it, like into the girl's Facebook history and found that Lucy Barrow chick, and that lined up with the husband's story. So then people are like, oh my God, it's this chick, whoever Lucy Barrow is. And they found her by her calling 911.
So it's her and the Jamie Waterman. Jamie Waterman is the husband and whatever, Amber Waterman. They both were the ones that I don't know if they were just planning to keep the baby or sell it or what. Oh, crazy mama, no worries at all.
Wait, wasn't she in a weird relationship too? No, that's a different one. I'm getting two of them confused. Never mind. Hold on, I got two. Never mind. Stop. I figured it out.
I definitely want to read that affidavit. That sounds... Hi, Pamela.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, luckily, they redact certain things, but...
I know.
But, so, what do you all think? Do you think that they're going to unseal... Let me get this, because I've been reading a lot about it, and for Delphi, Libby's grandma has a petition, obviously, which, to be quite honest, hear me out, the most tragic situation ever. But they're not going to get, they can't get special treatment. Like the
Wait,
judge
Libby's
has
grandma
to
wants them to unseal it or not?
No, she wants them to keep it sealed.
Kept sealed.
But so she's asking for 30,000 signatures, but people everywhere are saying you cannot do that. And somebody was like, well, I had my daughter was killed and I didn't get that choice. So all of this stuff. And so the judge recused himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, to hear about the judge recusing himself sounds like he doesn't want nothing to do with that because there's so many requests of people.
Only, okay, so Pamela, only until trial. So that's kind of fair.
Okay.
If they're okay, I mean, that's a little bit different. Yeah.
I was going to have a very different opinion of things. I don't know. I go down the middle on that stuff because I'm like, as a mom, you're like, I don't want my kids' information out there.
Yep.
But at the same time, you also are so invested in Delphi. Like people that's become a thing. It's like a living, breathing thing. Sadly, I don't mean that. No, that's a Jen move for you.
I think what's unsettling to me is
Pamela knows the family, by the way, so I trust what she's saying. So good. Yeah.
It's unsettling to me because it's like one of those situations where it almost seems like maybe it's tied with Kegan, and if it is, and there's this like porn ring and other people are involved and things like that, then as the public, like,
so that's people's argument is
I would want to know.
You're hindering. It's so difficult. I don't even know. Like, I would want
to me, they think there's other people involved. I mean,
I thought the charges yesterday were related, or him being dropped the 5, but Doug Carter said it has nothing to do. Keegan's charges, those 5 charges, have nothing to do with.
It just happened
Ricky
that
Dick,
all this.
I don't know.
No, I don't know if I believe that. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Explain that to me, please. And I'm like, talk to me like I'm a toddler. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know either.
The timing of everything is weird. Like, they started searching in the Wabash River. I don't know if I'm saying it. I need to ask my Delphi correspondent if I'm saying it right. I think he said it's Wabash, but they're searching the Wabash River right by Kegan's house. And that started towards August, like end of July. Then, they like Kegan had that big porn ring and everything. And on October 25th, I think it was, he had his, what do you call it, pretrial hearing coming up.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And they hear me out too. They just in July reopened the Evansdale case too.
Oh, you know how I feel about that.
Why are they reopening Evansdale? Why are they searching that water? Is there a connection to this guy and Kegan? And Kegan and this guy used to live on the same street.
I was going to ask you if you'd known that yet.
Yeah. There's no.
The thing is how old is he? Kegan or Keegan or whatever his name is. How old is he? Do you know?
He's a lot younger. He's like half the age of. He's like almost 30, I think. 28, maybe 29.
So when they lived on the same street, it almost makes me wonder, okay, because somebody said that they said that it was Tony and Richard were actually friends. And so it makes me
they lived literally on the same street.
Well, that's what I mean. Okay, so was Tony friends with the odds of them living, I'm just saying, the odds of them living on, whether or not, they say it is no relation, the odds of them living on the same street.
I mean, astronomical.
Yeah, right. And then not being connected. And then here's another thing. So I have a guy who lives in the area and he goes to all the spots and like talks to the locals and gets me pictures and everything. He said it's confirmed. I don't know. I still have to find out how he exactly confirmed.
Yeah, I've been looking into that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Keep talking. I gotta set this tea to share.
He claims that Richard Allen used to work at a Walmart right near where the Evansdale murders happened back around that time, and that he had like his own little apartment that he would stay at when he worked, and then he would travel home for a couple days and then go back. Because Richard's been married for like 31 years, the suspect. So I thought, like, no way, unless they both, him and his wife live there. Like I just couldn't see how it'd be possible.
Oh boy. Sorry.
It's my kid hacking up along.
I just got a photo.
But now I'm hearing that he did work at a Walmart there, and he had his own little apartment out there, which I haven't found an address to or anything yet, but I'm still looking into it.
But also the numerology. So listen to this. This could again be weird. The Evansdale girls were murdered on 7/13/2012, and Delphi was on 2/13/2017. The exact same numbers in a different way.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, you need to show that. I'm going to share this. I'm going to show it. Hold on, I got to get it. I got to save it first because I don't want it to download complete.
Oh, show your.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I totally forgot.
Hang on one second, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm still slow at this. Downloads.
You're good.
Come on, dummy.
Pamela, can you answer this question? If you can't, just say no comment. Do you think the trial will be televised?
Good question.
I hope so.
And what does the family want, I guess? So you could say no comment.
Yeah, there is zero pressure to answer.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Wait, Parker,
I'm getting ready to share this.
House yet?
No, I haven't. Is it crazy, Jen Lou? Now I kind of want to.
Share screen. Hold on. Jen Lou, I can drop the link for you too if you're
I love Jen Lou.
So do I. And I always learn something from her.
Who doesn't love Jen Lou?
Look at this sexy bitch. Who doesn't?
No.
Can I get a what? What?
So you got a picture of him at Walmart.
With his Walmart tag on. Ew.
What the hell is that?
And what are the odds that they opened this case up in July, right when they started searching the Wabash River too? And the charges, felony murder, I've heard from the local news sources that a lot of times they charge felony murder to leave it open to charge other people who may be involved. But
I'm sorry, Kate. I'm losing my crap up here laughing so hard. I can't get somebody's. Oh, Nace texted me or messaged me. She's like, "Hey, did you see Coffee Guy?" And I was like, "What?" She said,
"Is it an air fryer? Wait, is it an air fryer or coffee?"
Coffee pot.
Coffee. Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing at Walmart, but I'm telling you, like, ew.
My favorite is
hiding, looking for his next victim. That's awful.
Yes.
Who took that?
Imagine walking around the corner and be like, "What in the God's name?"
No, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna get him off the screen. He's gross. No, I haven't seen any of Lana's videos. I'm sorry. Hi, Sarah. There's a lot of people coming in that I haven't said hi to you guys. Bye, Amelia. Goodness gracious. I'm so sorry. Canine Mom, we love you. I did get your email. We will text you tomorrow. Punket.
Hey, Sarah.
That is my go-to pose on the beach.
My gosh.
Holy, thanks for popping in. You're welcome to come up. I dropped the link before, so any of the creators who want to pop up and say something, you're more than welcome. Oh, surprise, surprise. Hold, please. I'm so excited for this. Welcome, Jen Lou.
Hi.
Thank you. You have no idea how honored I am that you're here.
Yay.
Oh, stop. I'm
right
honored to be here. Stop
Tell us all the things. Teach us things. Talk to us about Delphi and court and all. I mean, I'm just going to you're in charge.
Read us the phone book.
Angela Wagner just took a stand, too.
Ugh. I don't even, I'm tired of her. I've had enough of her shenanigans.
All right, then.
No, I'm serious. Like,
who's Angela?
Okay, Angela Wagner is from the Pike County massacre trial. She's the mother. Yes.
Her manipulator mom who planned all this stuff.
Yes. And the thing about her is her and her son. Okay. So there's a law in Ohio where witnesses in trials can opt out from being recorded. like videoed or even audio, right? But I've never seen it done for people like Angela and Jake Wagner, who are the state's witnesses. They're co-defendants. They've already taken plea deals. They've admitted to what they did. But they both
opt out. That pisses me off.
they both opted out, and the media fought them and appealed it, and they won. But the deal was that Judge Deering would just have to have a hearing for any witness that opted out. So he did. Jake Wagner's argument was totally preposterous, that his safety would be in jeopardy if his testimony was recorded. Okay, back the milk truck up. He took a plea deal in 2020, 2 years ago. Okay, they knew he was a snitch 2 years ago, and nobody's done anything. Correct. So they need to just they just need to calm down, and they should have aired it, period. If he had the cojones to show up at 4 different crime scenes and unalive all of those people, then he should have the cojones to get up there on the stand and say what he did. Agreed. That's okay, though, because audio got leaked and I played it. Ha ha, Jake.
Oh, audio got leaked? Ooh,
sure did. Where were you, Kate? I played it the other night, babe.
Ooh, it was in the daytime. I was sleeping. But...
No, it was at nighttime, so you have extra no excuse, ma'am.
Extra no excuse.
Extra no excuse.
I've been on a
so you weren't just fucked, you were super duper fucked on that one. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, so it was annoying, but that's the deal. So Delphi, huh? Okay, well, first of all, can I say that the picture that you just showed of
yeah,
you know who he looks like? He looks like the guy from Office Space. That's my stapler.
But a little bit, the stapler guy? Like, I mean, stapler.
Give me back my stapler. I'll set this whole building on fire. I said no salt. There's salt all over here. You know, I could have this whole place shut down. Yeah, that's who he reminds me of a little bit in that picture.
Oh my god!
My god, that's hilarious.
Have you guys seen a picture of him in the bar, sitting like right in front of the sketch?
Yes, he's a guy. Gross. He's just a weirdo.
But I mean,
who would bottom shelf of a Walmart on a
while you're at work
machine? On a coffee machine. Is that not the irony? Like you're resting on a coffee machine and coffee's like I don't think there's a legit subliminal message in that picture. I don't
know.
Just ick. Just ugh.
I feel really bad for his wife. They've been married for 31 years. Can you imagine how rocked her world is?
Oh yeah, she's going to be on the next episode of Evil Lives Here. Mark my words.
Oh my god, yes.
That's what she's going to do.
She might be married to a killer.
Well, I think he was abusive to her. So I mean, just based off the things. Yeah. So she might be relieved he's gone, but obviously, like, horrified at what happened.
Well, yeah, I can't even imagine.
Texas, I think that maybe she suspected things, but was in denial because I think she was scared. I truly think she was scared. I mean, he did say he was going to beat her to the pulp over a pool game. So
yeah, I heard that.
But I do think she had to have some form of idea.
Welcome, Melissa.
Yeah, she probably knew a little. She probably had like some kind of something ain't right, but she just
but never. I don't think she would have ever like thought that her husband of 31 years would be the guy, killed the girl.
No, look at BTK.
Yeah,
even though they were divorced by the time and had been for a real long time, by the time he was caught, he told his daughter she was scared of the BTK killer. And he told her that she didn't have anything to worry about, which is extra gross because obviously it's you, brat bastard. But she said she suspected she caught him in a few compromising situations.
Oh, really?
It's one of the reasons they divorced. Yeah, because he had that affinity for binding.
Didn't he save stuff?
He did. Yeah,
I mean, I wonder.
He was a trophy collector.
Yeah, I mean, if he was trying to bind her up and stuff, I'd be a little freaked out too.
It wasn't her that he was binding; it was himself.
Oh, even
Like I think there was, if I'm remembering correctly, she walked in on something and she was like, "Oh hell no!" Walked right back out, and I don't think she ever looked back. She took the kids and dipped.
Oh,
I just can't imagine. Like 31 years is so long. Like most people don't even make 31 years. You know what I mean? And then you're like, 31 years.
Yeah, I'm at 27. I'm at 27.
Allegedly the house is empty now.
Yeah, can you imagine just like tomorrow finding out your husband is some killer?
Man, if that, it would shock the shit out of me because he knows I'd be following true crime. I'd catch him. I'd be the first one to catch him. And then I'd be extra mad, like, how dare you do this under my nose? You know that I love true crime.
Yes.
You could be Billy Joe and just live right in the house.
Yeah.
Stop it. I'll tell you what, I'd get that first interview. Don't you worry.
There. we'll talk. Oh God, BB.
Did y'all know there's protesters?
I didn't. You're kidding me.
What? What?
Oh my God!
I've
got to tell y'all. I've got to tell y'all about this, y'all. Since this little boy went missing, the protest. Oh my God!
This is my favorite when she does this. She's like, listen, Linda.
Linda, listen, Linda, listen. There's people out there, and they park their cars on the side of the street, and they stay there.
Holy cow!
Damn.
What purpose again?
Because they put up a memorial for Quentin.
They put up.
That's my new answer. That's my new answer. Just I'm changing it up. Okay. I just can't.
That works.
You know. That's why.
Nay, not really freezing. I just like to be cozy at night. Sweatshirt stuff.
They're so are they?
They're gone now. I guess
That's what I thought.
At the police station. It's 7 p.m. The ordinance was put into place between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Yeah, but they got it before they can even go out there and do anything. They got to get a permit.
Yeah. Now they have to get a permit. Colonel King got arrested, and then they went and protested outside the tax building.
They did not stop.
They
it was
did.
The tax building.
They did. The tax building.
Yeah.
I took a YouTube break for a couple of days, so that's just secondhand embarrassment. Whose brilliant idea was that? Hi, Allie.
Well, they thought they were like at the police station, and they were at the tax building.
Oh my God.
They weren't even at the right building. And then
I think I asked that in chat somewhere yesterday. I was like, did they go to the right? Did they actually go to the right police station? Because
eventually,
I only saw.
Eventually, yeah. Well, so
I cannot imagine.
And if you guys haven't seen Dolly's picture, it's great.
Oh, you know what?
They're protesting and the people.
I saw
that.
From
like, ma'am, this is IRS.
If you look at the picture, it's from like above, right over his like bald head. Like it looks like the person taking the picture was just standing like 6 feet above him and just like took it over his head.
On purpose.
I have it. I'll send it to you. And
yeah, if you want to share a screen, just let me know. I'll share it. But yeah,
give me a second. I'll find it.
These people sucking up.
That's all I know to say.
Did something else happen yesterday? I'm not talking poorly.
Every time
I'm not talking poorly on purpose about this person, but I caught one of Molly's videos and it said that she was very irritated, I think, and
the police flipped her off allegedly.
Is that when they were leaving, like? And then before they went to protest, because she was like, "We're leaving," and she walked up to the memorial and said, "Like, sorry, Quentin, I can't do anything more for you here." And I was like, "What the hell just happened?"
Allegedly, she called one of the officers some derogatory names, allegedly. So.
Oh, listen, this guy, I what a looker. I mean, I don't know why he doesn't have all the ladies.
So some bail bondsman went down and bonded him out for free, I think. Like did it for him. And then Molly was like, "I'm going home. Like, I don't want to be here anymore."
Yeah. That's what I heard. And now it makes sense.
Now they have to get a permit.
I heard they're all leaving tomorrow. that they had already discussed leaving tomorrow. Whether that's true or not.
What does Betty see in him?
I don't know, but you can tell they're together because there was a video Molly did. It wasn't long. I think it was Molly, and they were at like a restaurant, and they're sitting next to each other, and he kept like leaning up like so close to her with his arm around her, like having his arm around the back of her chair and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Like I'm so glad I'm bailed out with my baby, my bullhorn.
Ew.
I just don't know what people are gonna do when the protesters are done. Like,
then the story,
or will they throw their stupid money? I don't know I don't know. Maybe at legitimate creators. That's all I have to say.
I mean, you got both sides. You got people on both sides that are, you know, when they were out to dinner, they had energy. Betty makes Dolly's bullhorn. Oh my god!
Right, when they were out to dinner, he had his arm like around the back of her chair and kept like leaning over, and I was like, they definitely together. Like at first, I was questioning it, and then when I seen that video, I was like, oh yeah. And I think that maybe that's why he got so mad at Jersey. So the girl Jersey, what happened was she calls herself Jersey. She's from Jersey, and she got a bullhorn. And she was down there
bullhorn anymore
with her bullhorn, and he went over and like yanked it out of, like tried to yank it out of her hand all violently and stuff, and like hit her in the mix. So he got arrested for assault.
So that's what the assault. Okay, got it.
Yeah, you can find, they have it all over the clip channels. He like very violently tried to rip it out of her hands, and I'm wondering maybe he got mad because she had a bullhorn and it was, you know, making fun of his girl.
Taking away from his little girl.
See, that's so funny that you thought it looked intense because I thought it looked like a toddler grabbing the toy from another toddler.
I mean, it did, but I'm saying like it was.
If he had thrown a punch and then grabbed it, I would have been like, no.
Yeah,
would have been like, whoa.
It looked like a toddler throwing a fit, but it wasn't in like a nice way. It was in like a you know.
Why are you touching other people's?
Is there another? Right? Is there a way? Is there a nice way though to snatch something out of somebody's hands? I don't think so.
I don't.
She allegedly was trying to run people over the car.
I don't know. They were saying that she was trying to hit them with the bullhorn.
Melissa J,
I didn't see any of that. No, I watched all of it. None of that is true. No.
Oh, no. Okay.
They were telling the police. They were lying to the police, saying that like this lady was trying to hit them with the bullhorn, and that she was trying to run. She wasn't doing any of that. She was literally filming the whole thing.
Well, the first night, everybody was saying at the protest that the grandpa punched somebody, and then I said it last night, and people were like, "No, he did not. That's not what happened." And somebody said the video. He did not punch somebody. But he was mad.
Yeah, everyone was saying that he did, but
yeah.
Too later.
Who's knocking people over with their car?
Nobody.
No one. It was a she was standing beside her car.
They were saying that to try and get her arrested. Like they were like, "Oh, she was trying to hit us with the bullhorn. Like she was trying to run us over, even though she didn't do any of that." They were just saying that to like.
She was outside of her car. She was standing on the other side of her vehicle, okay, and she had the bullhorn, and then she had papers, and I think that she was dressed up as a breathalyzer. I can't remember if that happened. I can't remember if that happened before. It's all a blur to me, but what I will say is her hands were full. I think she was actually reading off charges. And so there's no possible way she was swinging at anybody.
Yeah, no, she wasn't trying to assault anybody.
But the video, the girl is sticking the poster right in her face, and she's on the blowhorn, and then Dolly sweeps around and just yanks. I mean,
let me just say this.
Wrestles with her for a minute and doesn't get it.
I only have two things to say, and then I'm going back to chat. One is, I have to say this because I thought it was so funny. Kate, did you see when Betty saw him walking out when he was free? They double high-fived each other, him and Betty. No. What couple does that?
I did not see.
Like, think about Whitney and Bobby. When Bobby got out, remember she rattled him in the street?
Double high-five.
I mean, I was waiting for like the next chest bump or something else. I mean,
Jesus, I can't.
Send me this clip.
I just thought that was really weird. And then the other thing I wanted to say is I heard today, rumor has it, On Social Blade, it showed that I want to say Betty made 90 grand on this.
What?
Not social. No, not Social Blade.
Social Blade,
babe.
what was it?
It's the other one. I keep wanting to call it Parcheesi, but I know for a fact that is not right. It's
so
like
going to
Playboy.
become a tragedy pimp.
Playboard. That's what it's called. Playboy. I almost said Playboy. That would have been incorrect as well.
I was like, Playboy. Wow.
Playboard.
Things have changed.
Playboard.
I want verification on that. Because if they made that kind of bank, I did see someone in the chat drop
Natasha
a
made
brand.
close over 20 grand for Gabby.
Yeah, that's true. But this has been 3 weeks.
On the Streets has the clip of him getting out, I think.
I did see them getting, they got $1,000 donation when he first got arrested. I saw that. I was like,
yeah,
damn.
They definitely double high-fived. And then she kind of like held his hand for a second. Like,
they double high.
What?
I was like, what?
They double high-fived, and then she held onto his hand like this for a second as he kept walking out.
Well, I'm sorry, but no one's heard anything remotely close to when Savage told Betty that she seduces her husband or something like that.
Oh my God, in heaven.
I'm thinking of Melissa Jade's live when she
you know what? No one that I actually watched Melissa's live in that was the funniest damn thing. More so because Melissa's laugh.
Yes, LFT. I know. I was
she was like, wait, pump your brakes.
She just couldn't stop playing it because it was so, and you could just hear Betty's voice go, it's cold out here.
It was such an awkward moment. But I want you to sit him on the side of the bed in his underoos, his Superman underoos.
I know what that's about.
Do you
Molly's really adorable. I thought it was really cute that Betty made sure he had his hat because clearly he's told her he's a little, insecure about his balding.
About his bald head.
She was like, wait, we need his hat. Go get his hat. We need his hat right now. Right now.
Way to stand by your friend there. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say
laughing. To that. Oh my gosh. There was a Linda that came into your chat last night, Melissa Jade, and she was coming at you hard. And Melissa Jade's going, Linda, listen,
listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
All right, I've said enough rumors. I'm going back down to the chat to mod. Bye.
Thanks, Jen Sharp.
Wait, who sent the alcohol? Who door dashed alcohol?
I don't know, but Molly was 3 sheets to the wind last night. So
was she really?
She'd be wearing like
Melissa. I just dropped the link. If you want to pop up and tell stories, we're here.
I freaking love Melissa.
And then she holds the camera like right here and just like zooms in on her like giant.
Oh, and the chest. Yes, I did receive a screenshot of that.
Yes. And all I wrote was why. I just why? Because I'm listening and I go, all I see are boobs. I don't even know where we're going. I don't know. Sorry.
Okay, can I just say though that I a little bit do live for Molly's décolleté. I don't know why. Something very wrong with me. But I do think I don't know, it's impressive. Probably because I'm with, the president of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. I don't know.
I was going to say, how big are you? Are you you sound like a little tiny thing. So you
I am like
over.
Well, let's see.
You'd look like the letter P.
I would.
I don't even want to tell y'all mine. I'm definitely in her club.
Are you with me in my club, Kate?
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't like to be alone in this club. I mean, maybe one day I'll hit it big on the YouTubes and spring for some aftermarket upgrades. I don't know. I'm 45 years old. I don't know what the hell I would even do with them at this point.
Just zoom in. I think if you just have your phone streaming live, just kind of zoom in and hold it closer and give the illusion.
And pop them like.
And I was like weird, mesmerized, being like, what am I? Huh? And I'm kind of like you guys, Molly. I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Like I thought this was, and I was like, oh, I see a tent. Oh wait, I see the chain of her pocketbook. Okay, and the boot. All right, black tank top. Got it. Like nothing. It just they were in my face every time I looked down. So I just kind of started to listen.
You don't even
Teresa
see.
Has offered hers to Jen. Thank you.
Teresa has offered some to me. She's very generous.
That's very
I just
sweet.
don't have very much. I'm just,
I mean, she's the best was when she was like, well, I dipped into my flight miles that I was using for Oakley Carlson for this.
Oh
or
my
something,
God.
because she
I
was all
clipped
upset about it.
that.
And I was thinking, did you just say that, woman? Like,
No, it was the sentence after that that got me.
What'd she
It
say
was
after
the
that?
sentence. Oh my God, the hair stands up in my arms. I can't even say. I think I was on Zoom with LFT, and I was like, "What
Oh my
the
God.
hell did she just say?"
What did
And
she say?
I lost my shit.
Anonymity.
No, she
wait.
said,
Oh.
she said she dipped into her. You know what? Hang on.
Let's go to the source.
Bust out. Get the clip.
I won't. Let me see. I won't.
Jerry.
I'll play the audio.
Yeah, just play the audio. We don't need a visual. We know what Molly looks like.
Chat, they said, Marissa, you do realize that Seattle and where this protest is going to take you 2.5 hours to get down there, right?
Right.
And
To get down
2.5 hours by Uber, and then you're probably not going to be able to get an Uber back. So you know what I did?
What'd you do, Marissa?
I had a protected trip.
Uh-huh.
And I'm using those credits.
You genius.
For Quentin. Yes.
Wait, here it comes. Here it comes.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. But wait.
You can save it and use it because you want to know something?
Here we go.
There's
Tell
always
us.
going to be another kid.
What? What?
Oh,
I'm sorry. What?
Tia flipped her shit.
What?
Yeah.
Always
say
gonna
out
be
loud
another
to me?
kid.
Oof.
What did you just say out loud to me? There's always going to be another kid.
Wow.
Are you freaking kidding? I lost my
She's
shit.
So stupid. I can't with that.
Parker, your face. That
I mean, the fact that here's the thing. It's the fact that she said it is bad, but the fact that it's also true is
I know it
awful
is.
too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But there's tasteless and there's truly tasteless, and that
She
one
almost flipped right over.
it's not. I mean, it is one of those that when I heard it, I was like, "Huh?
What you said?"
I think when she gets, as we all do, like too drunk, it's very dangerous for her to be live because that's when she starts throwing out those things that it's just.
Oh,
like,
I'm the funnest when I'm too turned.
Are you?
That's when I'm a fun drunk, but I'm Mexican and Irish, so like I was born to drink. Just kidding.
I was
Auntie's teeny. So
I throw up
listen.
after 3 Trulies. I'm a lightweight. I can't.
What? I can hold my weight. I can
You're
drink.
like
I'm a good
12
drinker.
pounds.
Oh
I
God,
used
no,
to in
I'm
high
not.
school.
Oh, Kate, I don't.
Oh, yeah,
I've never
Kate,
seen
I'm a
you.
good
I
drinker,
never
but
see
oh
you.
hell
so.
no, would I get on a live doing it? No.
I did once, and I called Jessica a hooker, and Granny's watching a hooker, and that was that's how your dirty hooker got her name.
Oh,
shut up! Are
Parker.
you serious? That's how it happened.
God,
That's the
thank
best
you.
story. I didn't know that.
Thank you that she forgave me and like didn't hold it against me eventually when I left Natasha. But yeah, that's how your dirty hooker came along because I was like,
Jesus.
"You're just such a hooker." That was a bad night.
Were you drinking? Or were you sober? You were sober, weren't you, Parker?
Yes.
Oh, Parker.
No.
Oh, Parker.
Happens to the best of us.
So now I just say no to all drinking and living.
That's a no.
I don't drink and live ever.
Are you
just
kidding?
because?
Can we go
I've
back
been telling
to
all
this
your damn
breathalyzer?
secrets.
Yeah, why did they have a breast? Yeah.
A costume? Someone was dressed up as one, or she was holding one?
No, she was dressed up as one. She looked really adorable, I have to say. I'm not even going to front. She looked pretty cute. It's like a little box thingy. I don't know. It goes over here. I couldn't see all of it. Look, to be honest with you,
like Melissa, why are you guys not up here? Roasting us.
Yeah, come on, you guys.
Please.
I played in the background because I'm supposed to be working on this video that I've been working on for 7 years. So, for it to be ready tomorrow. But anyway, so I was listening in the background and she was like, "Thank God I had my breathalyzer costume." And then I just caught a little quick glance at it. And I was like, holy cannoli, she looks adorable. I can't even front. She looked cute.
Now, did somebody send her Like, I'm asking legitimately because people were saying that she was sent and that she shouldn't have been sent because she has issues or something. I'm legit. Does anyone know, was she sent there? Was she just a neighbor that was like,
so
there?
I don't actually know. I highly doubt that she was sent. I don't think she was.
According to Molly, she's a super fan, but she was not sent by anyone.
Okay.
She just went down on her
According to
own,
Molly.
and then, you know, she got in touch with creators who like put up her streaming, but nobody sent her down.
Okay.
Oh, she went on
Here's
her
my
own.
other question, legal question. Any of you, Jen Lou, you usually know this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Shares, and this is actually a question, relationship with Billy Joe, and to the capacity that it is. One, it can probably mess up the case, but two, can Cher be questioned now by the FBI and stuff? Like,
when there is an open investigation, this is what everybody needs to remember. You know, when they give you your Miranda rights and they tell you that you have the right to remain silent, and if you choose to give up that right, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. That goes for texts, emails. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, it's the freaking FBI, man. Okay, this isn't like your local you know, cops that you could maybe be nice to and they could cut you a break, right? Obviously they don't this. I'm talking about like in a ticket situation, not a whole unaliving of a human situation. I don't think you can talk your way out of that. But if they wanted to and they thought that it's possible that Billy is telling her things, and this is the thing about that. And I'm not judging. I'm only like,
no, Cher, I'm legitimately asking.
Yeah, Cher can do whatever, but the thing is, what's going to pique the if I were an FBI agent, what would pique my interest is hearing things like, "I could show you so much that would change your mind." See, that implies
didn't even think about that.
That implies that she's been told stuff. Now, that's the thing
and
about
she has
that.
Receipts. That's right.
Well,
I said that's that to LFT,
and it could be just. It could be very innocuous what she's talking about, but the feds that's all they need. Oh, okay, you got some stuff that might change people's minds. Well, let's get a subpoena. Change ours.
They can depose her, yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, they can do more than depose her. They can subpoena her phone carrier and get her communications.
Is this going to be like what she did with Dawn, though? Because then remember, she started working with like apparently the TBI.
But Dawn wasn't a suspect. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like remember they were like, if you're comfortable still talking to him, if I'm remembering correctly what she said, you know, it was like, if you're comfortable talking to him, keep him talking, keep doing what you're doing.
I mean, but it's
just
possible.
Weird to see it again. But I
mean, well, I don't think that's what she's doing, but I will, I will say this. I mean, there's only the law enforcement works like this. You're either a suspect or you're a witness.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And I don't know what she has. I don't even want to know what she has. It's none of my business. No. But that all I'm saying is, if I were an FBI agent, I would be very interested by those, in those words.
I mean, there's a lot of that's true.
You know,
didn't Dolly have a half-hour conversation with Leilani? Somebody said
he said he did, but
you say that kind of crap right there. If I'm the FBI, I'm like, hey, what was your half-hour conversation? Like, do they not realize, like, you just talked to the number one suspect? Allegedly. Just saying.
I mean, they would
hold on. I just want to say, welcome to Queen Bee. I watch her all the time.
I love
her so much. And
I like Queen Bee because she stands for something, but she doesn't necessarily side with, like, she's not saying, hey, Billy Joe, you're right. You know, she's kind of like,
her success is every time I look at her numbers, I'm like, you go, girl. You fucking go.
You know why I like Queen Bee? Because she let me up on her panel, and I told the lamest knock joke yesterday, but she played along with it and laughed, bless her heart, and that's why. But I also like what she's doing. Y'all want me to tell you the joke? It's super lame.
Yeah.
Are you ready? All right. Knock.
Who's there?
Whoop whoop.
Whoop,
Whoop, whoop,
whoop,
whoop.
whoop.
Whoop whoop! That's the sound of the police. That was right after Dolly got arrested.
Oh, you're adorable.
Okay.
Come on, Parker, lighten up. You know that shit's funny.
Hey, Queen Bee let me
Hey,
talk
what-
to Ryan
hey,
Upchurch, so
You know what we do is we were sending I think it was last Sunday when we did a live, we sent everybody to Queen Bees. We were like, don't go to those tragedy pimps. Go watch Queen's live.
Literally, that's what I'll ask Tia.
That's who
Yeah,
I've
I'll
been
just
watching.
go watch Tia throughout. I'll tell Tia, have you checked Queen Bee today? What's going on? Because I don't.
I love her.
Because I haven't watched any of
love
them, and
her.
I'll just go over there.
Plus,
Yeah,
I love the
that's
fact that she cracks me up. She's like, for 15, 20 minutes, she'll be quiet. And then all of a sudden, somebody will say something. She'll be like, nah, we're not doing that over here.
she doesn't care who you are. I mean, I've never. She told Ryan Upchurch off.
I liked
Well,
when she
I mean,
said,
she should
well,
get a
y'all are out
trophy
there
for that.
acting a
Well,
whole
she
donkey's
absolutely
ass,
should
and
have,
then
but
you're
it was
wondering why you're
hilarious.
getting arrested. That was my favorite part, because that's like some stuff I would say. You're out there acting a whole fool, and she's like, you're out there acting a whole donkey's ass, and you wonder why you're getting arrested. That sounds like some shit I would say, so I could relate.
I like her.
I do
just
too. I've been
picture-
watching her for a long, long time, forever and ever. Shit, since Michael Long, I think.
Here's
I
my
love her
prediction:
success.
if Queen Bee is on Buckhalter Road, she's like, Billy Joe, in the house now. Leilani, let's go.
I'm
Out of here. Definitely. Give me her bullhorn. Like, just everybody's to their places. Now. Done.
Everybody's eyes are bulging like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It just got real.
I'm just saying, yeah, she scares the crap out of me.
Now, did you hear that Natasha is rolling into town down there?
Rolling.
Oh.
You said rolling.
Now
in.
here's what I say. Okay, I'm gonna take this one from Parker. I'm gonna you stand over there. You sit in the corner and you don't say anything. I'm gonna take this.
Parker, put
But
your
I'm gonna
earmuffs. Oh, they're on.
I'm gonna say this out loud. That if that woman puts wheels on her recliner,
Tia, I'm sending you something that somebody sent me.
She's not going now, right?
What? Somebody sent it to me.
Taking everyone's money.
it is gold. She should do that. I'm telling you, she should be like in the parades and like.
And this
put
is
her-
nothing. Somebody just sent it to me and was like, "Look at this. You'll never believe this." And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" How do you get to a
I
GIF?
just think it would.
What's a GIF?
Gi-
Wait, no, a GIF.
I think
GIF.
couldn't y'all
It's GIF. It's GIF.
I call it GIF.
It's a GIF.
Can't y'all just see her, like everyone in a crowd, like protesting on the streets, and then real quietly, this red recliner starts rolling up on like this power, and then she
They
just
see
like
me
then she
rolling.
gets in line, and then all the rest of the people there going, "What the fuck?" And she's just looking at him, being like, "Hey, titty baby bitches,
Oh,
what's
I
up?"
gotta
Like
try
she
to
would
find-
just
Oh,
be
here we
able
go.
to.
I just sent you
I'd super
something,
chat
Tia,
it. I would have to.
and you
Did it.
have
Do I have to show this?
put this. You are not. You are going to probably roll laughing.
Okay, hold on.
And that, by the way, that's not a dig at NC. I'm being legit. I would love to see her do that.
I think it would be legendary.
I think it would. Couldn't you just roll up like stealth mode, but then come in with just like her full, just all of her personality, everything in that chair, rolling up. And just
If
be
you
like,
can't share it, I'll show it on my phone. Well, I don't necessarily.
You might have to
how
show it on your.
Okay.
You might have to show
Do
it
you
on your
guys-
phone.
Do you guys
It's not
remember
coming
that
up.
show on Nickelodeon at nighttime, and they had like a guy
Wait.
who drove around in a recliner? Like,
Can you see that? Can you guys see that?
Let me say, oh,
That's
hold on.
exactly what I picture. Like her
Hold on.
rolling up in the recliner.
right?
What's up, bitches? What's up, bitches?
Parker, shut the fuck up.
Oh God, I'm getting roasted for an entire 2 hours later.
That was
Nah,
not
we probably
Parker.
will all be.
Don't.
It's look. I don't have a. I listen. I don't have any beef. You know, it is
I
what it
don't
is.
And you've actually always said that too. And I don't. I just don't engage. Like whatever. Say, listen, Jay.
Here's the deal. Look. This is how I view creators. Not even creators, just Natasha. Only because I did know her at one point, right? So here's how I view her. She's doing her own thing, and I'm doing my own thing, and it's we're not like at each other's throat. We're not beefing with each other, and so fine by me. You know what I mean?
Oh, please let Queen Bee and her go head to head in Savannah, Georgia. I swear. Like,
can we buy tickets for that? Can we do pay-per-view?
I don't know. Get in line now. Like you're close. Get in line. I don't know where people are, but save me a place in line because
I wonder if I can use my protected credit for that.
I think it's one of those dark blue Tootsie Pops. And
yeah, and it's actually not good at all. I don't like this color, but it's what my daughter brought me in because she got out her Halloween candy. Well, she doesn't like this color.
I thought you were asking for ice cream. I thought you were asking for an ice cream cone. I literally was like, I saw that. I don't know.
Were you guys in there when Jen Sharp won a membership in there? Because that, like, she was gifted a membership.
In where?
In Natasha's
chat. In Natasha's chat.
I ain't got no beef with Natasha, but she did try and say that the Peen Bomber was my husband, but I forgive her.
Well, that would be impossible because I was told I was the peen. By the way, I don't have a peen, but long ago in the Watts days, it was supposedly me.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I used to mod for Critical K, and one night, I got off her panel, and Peen Guy went back up under my name. And it was like a living room. So I'm laying in the pitch black dark in bed, and all I hear is that you? Kate, what are you doing? Why are we looking into your living room? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like grabbing my phone, thinking that for some reason it flicked on somehow and they're videotaping my bedroom, even though it was pitch black and you couldn't see anything. So then I'm like, I'm like, that's not my living room. And I'm like, it's not me, I'm typing in chat, like, that's not me. So, and then the guy just walks out, just completely naked.
Oh my God.
And then Natasha did a whole live telling everyone that the Peen Bomber was my husband.
Yeah. The other creator, we were talking about another creator earlier, and they accused me of being the Peen Bomber, which I was like, newsflash, I don't have one.
I had so many problems.
He's circumcised.
I had so many problems with that when I was a kid. Tia got blamed. Yeah, I was like, I can't even begin to make the list of how wrong. Like, what?
There's so many things wrong with that. First of all, no, it wasn't me. Lycan, it was probably you. You're dirty, Lycan. You're dirty.
She was ashamed of her peen.
Okay. In all seriousness, wait, Kate, I didn't know you were around in NC. How did I not know this? She was in Critical K's world. Yeah. Were you the one that used to fill it out with Luis or whatever his name was? God bless you.
I mean, sometimes I'll go.
Yeah, that guy.
Go up there with. I did a lot of like Barry Morphew stuff with her and a lot of the Andriaki.
God, the chat hated him.
I remember Jules of Thought got so mad at me one night over that case. She's like called me stupid and then ended her live and came back after she calmed down for like an hour. She was so
well, I think it's funny because we used to mod for Jay.
We just called someone stupid.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I forgot about Jay. I don't ever see her live very much, but it's probably just because I don't see her live.
I don't see her lives either, but I think she's still live. Yeah, but
yeah, she still goes live.
Does she?
Mm-hmm. I've been in their chat a few times.
I need to go over and say hi. We still have friends over there, but yeah, I used to mod for Jay. So, Critical K and her were a thing before I came in. I was still on the other side of YouTube at that time, so is like in Lost. probably.
Like it's like I'm in the wrong chat again.
Shit. Well, that's okay because he thinks I'm somebody else anyway, so it's all good. Whatever. Well, I can do no wrong because I'm just gonna blame it on that other creator that he thinks I am. So this is wonderful for me.
I mean, it works. Critical K called Jennifer Coffindoffer, the FBI agent, an idiot the other day on Twitter.
She'd be saying the worst stuff. I mean,
she did come from former FBI. You have a $10 million lawsuit, so
yeah.
Yeah,
I like Kay. She makes me laugh. And you know what? I'll say this too about
I don't know
Kay.
her at all, so.
I do, and she was always very kind to me. So, but what I will say about that is this: I recognize though that my experience with people isn't the same as other people's, and so I won't I don't hold your experience against you if you won't hold my experience against me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I listened to
her work. Like
I will say when I asked her for like the case files of Androcchio, she sent it to me right away. Androcchio. Oh gosh, I just said it like MCF. She
said it about 87 different ways, so it's fine.
Yes,
Parker.
and I was just thinking of that, and then it just anyways.
I think she did an amazing job with the Michael Long case. Like
I do too.
She handled that.
I don't know that case.
Well, she did such a good job with that. And I think she did a good job with a lot of cases up until recently. I feel like she's changed a little bit. But other than that, I respect her work. Which is
what did you do with her? Were you were research, right? Mm-hmm. Did you help her? Did you the
brains?
Yeah. Did you co-host as well?
Yeah, sometimes. Me and her would go at it all the time, especially over Morphia. We had a couple arguments on our channel over Morphia.
So that was like our Seeking the Truth with Dave. Yeah. So we were the brains behind it, and then you see what happened there.
Yeah.
And you hearted it. That'll never not be funny to me. I don't care. Listen, I'm not even making fun of him. It's just that it's such an angry. I've never seen anybody be that angry at a freaking heart ever.
Mm-hmm. At Alex, who gets mad at Alex? Even when we don't have the same opinion on something, I can't get mad at her. Like
I don't know.
I can't get mad at Alex. There's not because
Jen, I think is that really Alex, you? Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna wait because I
think Alex is like I don't know. You go hard for a case, but you don't pimp it out. I guess she has a good balance.
She doesn't exploit it.
And grounded.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
No, she's passionate and grounded. Like passionate and grounded in what she does.
Yeah, I mean, she's not gonna be besties with Don Wells or anything like that. She's very grounded. Like she gets into a case, but knows when to back off a little.
Is Jen Sharp really coming up? Is that really her? I'm not letting anybody up because there's no picture.
Check the authenticated. How do you say it?
Authenticated.
That too. Lou around me all the time.
Authenticated. Okay, it is her. All right, here we go. All right. We don't want to ban her from studio.
She banned me before she banned Jen Sharp from studio.
I love Jen Sharp. All right, there we go.
I feel like something's coming.
It makes me nervous.
I'm scared. I'm really scared, Jen. I gotta be honest with you. All right.
No,
all right.
Don't put us in a panic, girl.
I'm laughing so hard by myself over here. I can't help it. I was thinking, do you guys remember that night that MCF was completely convinced that Mandy and Melissa were the same person? I'm over here laughing by myself. I'm like, I have to remind them.
And then Mandy got up on the panel and she's like, how can we both be in the same place?
That's right. God bless her.
You're talking to me. How can we be the same person? Bless her heart.
That was an awkward moment, but a very good one.
I was so excited when they were both on there. I'm like, now what are you going to say? Oh my God, that was hilarious.
I don't
even so sure of it too. That was the thing.
Talk about being like humbled and just dang.
Oh, that was
like I can't.
Wolfie, don't go. You're fine here. Stay here.
I don't even. Okay, I have a question. A serious question. Debbie Collier. Okay. Collier. Thank you guys. I'm from. I don't even know. But anyways,
You're from the land of don't pronounce words. Got it, Parker.
Like
it's fine.
Or amethyst. Everybody's always on me about those words. So
amethyst.
Amethyst. Amethyst.
No, it's amethyst.
An amethyst?
Yes.
Yeah, not in my world. Not in my world, but
Like that, you're like mixing. That's
I
like
say a lot of words wrong. I do.
atheist
Careful.
with amethyst.
Yeah.
Yeah. A non-religion, whatever you know.
Debbie Collier's case. Do you think so? Her son's come out and stuff. Did you guys hear today? The police say yes, we know people are leaking information. It's been a problem the last few months. Like they admit it. There's basically like a bad insider.
Oh no!
In
So
the police
a cop is
department.
leaking information, and they know that a cop is leaking information.
Do you? So how many? Do you guys?
Did they
think
say it was a cop? What did they say exactly, Parker?
Let me see it. Let me look it up. But do you think it was an accident or murder? I think it was murder, but that's just me.
I mean, I just don't like what. Who pulls off 3 hours away in the middle of a highway, strips naked, and lights something on fire by accident? Like, I
It's
can't
weird.
see it being an
It's
accident.
so weird,
have a
and
really
I
hard time
don't
seeing that
see it
being
as
an
unaliving myself that
Me
way. That
neither.
would just, ugh.
It's just a strange way to do something like that. I get not
Okay.
that there hasn't been strange things, but still, it just feels weird.
Well, I have to say, I have entertained multiple theories, but I was talking to somebody else about this, and I wondered, was it an unaliving, a self-unaliving, and that was an attempt to make it look like another person unalived you for the insurance money? As you know how life insurance has a
Clause.
self-harm clause. Mhm.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
wondered about that.
Let me
But
tell you about that.
okay, tell me.
Because that clause is only for, okay, first of all, it's only for some carriers.
Right.
2, there's a time period, because once you pass that time period, you'll get the money. It doesn't matter how you did it.
Right. Okay.
How you do?
And I know I know it's fact.
I believe you.
And I'm just trying not to say too much about it, but
Okay.
a very close family member had an insurance policy, and it did pay. The insurance policy was purchased 7 years before.
Huh.
So
I guess it would just depend on your insurance
You betcha.
and your policy.
You betcha.
Well, I thought about it because there's some stuff we don't, we don't know. I'm waiting to see what they say. I'm waiting.
Actually,
Wasn't there supposed to be like a press conference like a million years ago?
I think
Yeah.
so, but I was actually wanted to ask Jen Lou this because I know, I think even something that has to do with the Quentin case too. But I know,
Okay.
Do you think that they can't connect any kind of digital evidence in the Debbie
I think-
Collier case,
I think they don't have the evidence.
or they don't
I
have
think
it?
they can't find a connection, so they're like, I feel like they can't find a connection, so they're just like, okay, well, maybe it was this, I know that they went back and they found the gas can there, but how does that suggest that it was an unaliving? The person who did it could have just threw the gas can and called it a day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because usually people won't leave stuff like that behind. A gas can
Did
would
they-
potentially have your fingerprints on it. You know what I mean?
Did they find a lighter?
No.
Or whatever,
I want to say they did. I thought it was. Didn't they find
Oh,
the
did they?
long-handled light?
Oh, they had the torch thingy-majigger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Did you know the FBI isn't involved?
Is or isn't, babe?
Is not. They just said the FBI is not involved. They came for one little aspect, but are not anymore. The son said he doesn't yesterday that he does not trust his sister's friends, and
That's unfortunate.
shit, I wouldn't either.
I can't find it, but somebody said, it was a creator said, how are we not talking about this? And it was the police responding to the son calling them out saying, who is leaking this information? And they said, we know that there's leaks. It's been a problem for a few months. I've got to find it.
But why is he just coming out and speaking again now? Is there apparently?
That's
I guess
the other
he's
thing.
insinuating Is he insinuating that they're getting a lot of attacks online or something? Or
The thing is he and his mom weren't even. He's apparently, allegedly, not a super nice guy, from what the other side says. So, why did he wait all this time to all of a sudden, like, unless he felt like they were just now going to say it was I have no idea. The whole family. I think there's a lot of family dynamics.
Yeah, I agree with that. I struggle with that case on so many levels, though, because I'm like, oh, if you're gonna,
yeah, I mean, statistics show that and to do less invasive things,
yes,
like they'll use a rope, but they wouldn't use a GUN,
right?
So it's really unlikely for a woman to do that.
And we have to remember the bullet.
Wasn't she nude? Like, why, if you're gonna do?
I think she was just topless, is my understanding.
It just doesn't.
But that was probably
that
could have been from catching on fire, right? Because it said that she was essentially scorched or burned, like her chest area, correct? Like her torso,
her abdomen. Yeah.
Oh.
Kristen said one of my friends' mothers
die if she was only burned on her abdomen? Is it like?
That's what I'm waiting for, Kate, is her COD, because that's going to, I mean, obviously.
That'll tell a lot.
Because
being burned on your abdomen, I mean, could that do that to
no,
you?
well, I mean, it could, but most of the time, people who are in a fire situation actually are unalived by the smoke before the
That's
fire.
what I was just going to say, the smoke
But I
inhalation.
just can't even see, wasn't it raining that day? She bought a poncho. I know it was pouring when
it started raining for sure.
I mean,
jump back down. I'll hear chat.
That's why, Jen, you just can't keep popping up and popping
you can't
down.
Just keep going into our life and then popping back out.
Right. Like, who do you think you are, lady?
Look. Oh, well, we are no one to her because she just
apparently
popped right off.
She was she was like, I'm out.
Watch me, y'all.
Gypsy's here. I love it.
Well, do you think it's the same thing kind of with, sorry, I know, just real fast back to the digital thing, Jen Lou. Do you think they've got a lot of digital evidence in Quentin stuff, or do you think they're still trying to acquire more?
I think they're still trying to acquire more.
Yeah, me too. I think they have camera footage, and that's the
camera footage though is so high up that's the only good thing, is because it's on that roof easement down into the dumpsters of that trailer park.
If that's where it was, good. And if that's what
they just came out yesterday that it was.
Did they did confirm it? What did they say exactly, Parker?
Let's go over the media said that it's been confirmed. Let me type it, but I'm pretty sure they said, let me type it in, that it was Azalea.
You said that one right.
You sure did. And now all I can think of is, I'm so fancy.
What is that guy's name? Oh, Buffington.
Brett Buffington.
Come on, Kate, get my back up.
Where do we left you?
We left it.
What are we laughing at?
We left it in the fast lane. We left off at fast lane. Now you have to say.
In the fast lane.
No, I already said that part. From LA to Tokyo.
From LA to Tokyo.
Can't you catch this gold?
Okay, so there's 5 large.
My name.
Trash.
We come with songs. We come with knowledge. We come with songs. We are the full package.
Okay, yes. I'm gonna read it. You ready?
Yes.
So this is Fox News 2, which again, so this does say
LFT.
Chatham County Chief of Police said on October 13th that they believe Quentin's remains were discarded in a specific dumpster at blah, blah, blah. We knew all that. For the last 2 weeks, police and FBI agents have scoured the landfill without success. A search that started at Azalea Mobile Home Plaza in Savannah. Fox News Digital has learned. Okay, but that doesn't tell me you confirmed it. That doesn't at all tell me.
That just says that's where they started. They could, I mean, how many,
Well, so they talked to, so this is where they got it from people there. Okay. So they talked to residents that had been all interviewed by the FBI. And it says that Shannon Teal said she returned from a month-long stay at a hospital 36 hours after Quentin's disappearance, and the complex was swarming with FBI and police. Her home faces the dumpster and has a camera affixed to the roof owned by the management company. The camera is trained on the dumpsters to deter illegal dumping. So they were out there. She said the FBI has been out there looking through the dumpsters and obtaining the video. Her Wi-Fi was down, so they couldn't pull any video off of it. Well, then I'm sure they probably just took it with them, you know. So, but
like
still,
it was down when she dumped stuff, or it was down when they went to get it?
When they came and asked.
Okay, well that's freaking weird. Are you kidding me? Oh, I hope it's when they came and asked and not when.
Because that's really, Fox, do better.
Yeah,
that syntax is terrible. Okay, it leaves that's a very open. It ends with a period, but there's actually should be a question mark.
Yes. Yep. Do better. I'm done with you. You mean
Don't
nothing.
make me break out into an Eagles song, Jen.
Don't make me bust out the Google review because I'll do it.
Gosh.
I love the Eagles, Kate.
So do I.
Well,
But
they
not
have to have actual
the football
video.
team.
Oh,
I love the football team too because I'm a Philly girl.
Yeah, but I'm from Texas. We can't, it's cool. We can still be friends, but I gotta
It's
be.
okay.
Yeah, I can't like them.
My husband loves the Cowboys, so
Yeah, they won't let me return. They'll yank my Texas card right away if I be a Cowboy if I'm an Eagles fan.
We've learned to live with each other, but I believe the first season that we started dating, I swung on him. But
oh my!
I didn't hit him. I just swung on him.
There's a difference. One is illegal and one is fine. Well, I mean, it's not. One is not illegal. There you go.
Caught, so.
Swing
he was asking for it. I warned him well ahead of time that if you keep
that's gonna get
narrating this.
He was asking for it. Kate's a husband beater. He was asking for it. It's gonna get clipped. Watch.
That was the only time I've actually ever swung on him. I will say that.
But you didn't connect. Make that very clear. There you go.
All right. Question: what are all your theories? Go on Quentin. Each one. I want to know each one of your theories. Jen Lou, go.
Okay. I don't have one because I don't have enough information. The only thing that I feel very comfortable and confident in saying is whatever took place inside of that home, nowhere else. Because they're not asking for the public's help. They're not asking for witnesses. And in a lot of cases involving children, especially if it's an abduction, they will be asking for the public's help, and they're not. That's key. So whatever happened under that roof. And
you are smart.
Sometimes.
That's a really good point.
I think that I struggle with this. I think Leilani did it. I don't know I don't know about did it. I don't know if it's an accident or if it was like, it's either, to me, it was either an accident or she like lost her temper and, freaked out and did something. Or maybe he got into her stuff or, something like that. I don't know if the boyfriend is involved. I can't figure it out. I don't think he is at this point because of the way that they've made it seem, but I guess I'm always open to that. And I think she went and dumped his body in the dumpster and they have it on video and have some kind of evidence, but they just can't prove that what she dumped was him. And this is the issue right now. Like, that's what I think. I think they were looking so hard for this body so they can be like, okay, what you had in this video was his body. Like,
but if they don't find the body, what are they going to do? Are they going to even be able to build a case?
I don't know. Hopefully they can find some like decomposition evidence in the dumpster or something.
What do you other ladies, smart ladies, think? Do you think they'll be able to build a case?
I think they have enough circumstantial to call her out. I don't know if they have enough physical to prosecute her. I'm actually with Jen Lou on this one. I need more information. I think
they have enough to take it to trial. I don't know if they have enough for a whole jury to say that she did it. You know what I mean?
Wow. Have you ever seen a case like this where the person that's a suspect is still out this long, like not in jail?
Yeah.
Barry Morphew was out for a year, but I think Barry's innocent though.
Oh yes, you're the one that thinks he's.
You do.
I am the one and only person who thinks Barry's innocent.
Harmony's dad too. Is out. He was out for years.
Yeah, he was out.
And they only got him. He got caught up on arms charges because he can't say, obviously.
Right. Too. The girl's mom, Evelyn Boswell's mom.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Who was
it happens.
Cash Gernon, no.
She got off.
No, who am I thinking of? The Teresa. What is her name?
Not Gannon.
What is that?
Letitia Stalk?
No, Teresa.
I know who you're thinking of.
Balboa.
I can't think of her last name.
Balboa, right?
Yeah. I don't know, babe.
It takes a while to build a case. And what gets me so mad about all this is like all these true crime channels are like, we got to go down there and protest. If you know anything about true crime, it takes a while to put together a good case. So like, why are we going down and pressuring the police to do something when they should be putting together a case? That annoys me so bad, because if you are true crime, you should know how the justice system works and not be like this. Like,
my fear is that it would end up like, I don't want it to end up like that case, but, and I've said this to a few of y'all already, but that the Australia, Lynette Dawson back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the circumstances like pointed to him doing something. I mean, everything, even his like, you know what I mean? But they just arrested him like in the last year. I mean, we had to wait for like, and it's that, Jen Lou, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it takes a while. Sometimes
and they
there
already
are
had
cases.
so much circumstantial evidence on him even at the time though, but he was not enough to pin it on him, obviously, or I don't know.
Not only that, when they arrest somebody, things start moving, things start going in motion. That's when they need to move fast. So it's better to wait. If they're not going anywhere, then what's the rush? Let them
And
be.
I know they have to know where that she is most of the time, because somebody was like, look at Brian Laundrie. Well, the FBI wasn't there with Brian Laundrie. That was the Northport police.
He took off. They know where she is.
And him and his mom are twins. They looked alike. What do you want?
Oh my God.
Oh, sweet.
Well, do you think they found blood when they darkened the windows and did the
what do you think? Jen doesn't have an opinion yet. I don't know.
On the windows?
Like, do you think they found blood? Is that their hardcore evidence?
When they put the dark things over the windows to do the luminol. Like, they covered the windows in dark black, like trash bag type stuff to darken the room so they can do luminol.
I mean, yeah, that's what they do.
So see, I think they found evidence in order to go in and spray that Blue Star.
That's true.
I think they had probable cause. They did the little, like you see on with the shows, with the Q-tip and the drop.
Oh, the presumptive test.
Yes.
Yes. And then once that came back positive, they could come back to do further, like with being able to go in and do the luminol testing in other areas of the residence. And then right after that,
I feel better.
Right after that, then he said, after they did that, Leilani, once again, is still the only suspect. But I can't imagine, because my original thought was like, maybe it was sleeping medicine. Maybe it was something else,
maybe.
At night. I was thinking that, but then I was like, I don't know how they could I was thinking that and then assuming that, say, the luminol came up with nothing. So how could they confidently say that he was deceased? What is it? Well,
the thing is if there was in fact blood, then it will be clear because either Danny was involved, because obviously he would see blood, or it happened between that 6 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the morning time span.
I heard dogs hit at the landfill on his scent as well. I don't know about the I don't know about the dumpsters. I can't verify that, but I've heard that they brought dogs out and that the dogs hit on the scent. And I mean, what kind of solidified it for me is I've never heard a suspect besides OJ be like, if I'm involved, I'll go walk myself. Like, who says that? If you're not involved, you're not involved. Who says, if I'm involved, I'll walk myself down to the police station? Like, if I'm not involved,
there's no if. First of all, I'm not involved. No. There's so many things wrong with that statement. There's so many things wrong.
That infuriated me. Like, come on. Like, the only other suspect I've ever heard do that is OJ with his "If I Did It" book. Like,
I still can't get over that one.
You know, I think that what she said is a completely odd turn of phrase. It's a very odd thing to say, especially when the way what she said is what somebody would say if I was at fault. That's what she said. If it turns out I'm at fault, that's the way you describe a freaking car accident.
And those words means yes, he's dead. Like she.
Right. If it comes out that I'm at fault, but then see, the thing is she talks out of both sides of her face. And I've been studying what she says and what she doesn't say, because sometimes that's actually more telling. But what's interesting to me is the way that she will say that, you know, she's got hope, right? But then she'll say, I wake up angry because the phone call doesn't come. How do you, first of all, if you're waiting all day for the phone call, how are you waking up angry when it doesn't come? That doesn't make any, that's not really how time works.
I hope somebody who couldn't have a baby, like, took him and is feeding.
When did she say that? What day did she say that? Because I'm curious about that.
It was after what's her name did the interview with all those people on her channel.
Because the only reason I'm asking is when did we learn about the girl that just was unalive to get her baby?
Oh, that was yesterday that we heard about that, or 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Olivia made a video where she interviewed all the protesters, and the protesters were like, oh, like, you know, I can't have a baby and I would do anything to, you know, have a baby. And they were like crying and saying they weren't able to have a baby, and like how passionate it meant for them because they weren't able to have babies. And that's why they were out there, and how it makes them so mad that a girl could do that to her baby when there's women out there who would take that baby in a heartbeat. And Olivia had done a video and interviewed all them ladies and put it up on her channel before Leilani's interview. And they were the protesters outside. So it wouldn't shock me if she watched that video and see.
Well, she definitely got it from somewhere, because that's a 22-year-olds. Let me say this. 22-year-olds don't think that way. I was a young mom. I had 3 kids when I was 22. All right. My 2 boys are 10 months apart, and there's 2 years between my youngest son and my oldest daughter. So when I was that age, and I saw things on the news, because I remember when my youngest son was born, that was around Darlie Routier. And my thought, I was always afraid of somebody kidnapping them, but for nefarious reasons, not because they wanted to, you know, to a child. The only time I ever worried about that was, ironically, when I was in the hospital with my daughter, my oldest daughter. I had a C-section, and they kept trying to get me to have pain meds, and I wouldn't take them because I was afraid to give my daughter to the nurses. Because if you're on the pain meds, you can't have the baby in the room. And I didn't. And my husband was at work. And so I was like, I can't, no, I'm not gonna, I probably had seen something on Lifetime or something. That's probably why my head, but you see what I'm saying? It isn't something that I thought of myself at that age. It's something that I had seen.
And Olivia's video had came out like right before then. It was probably like a couple days before then, maybe. It wasn't And that's what all the protesters were saying. And I'm sure they were probably screaming stuff like that too, So,
well, I mean, and her brother did tell a guy that he was locked up with that he doesn't remember murdering that guy.
God.
Like, he doesn't remember when he does things like that.
Okay, Dahmer didn't remember unaliving Steve Tumoy,
right.
But he did. Toomey.
And then that was her first. Well, no, that was her second, I guess. I don't know which one that was, but the first was that the dad took him. But I mean, that was clearly could be proven very quickly.
Right. And that's another thing. That's I can't even remember whose live I was watching, but the bottom line is that's how it works in these cases. Unless somebody saw something that points to a stranger abduction, the first thing they do is, if there are parents and one of them is a non-custodial parent, that's the first place they go. They checked with Stevie Branch's biological father, and they also checked with Chris Byers' biological father to make sure that they didn't take them. And that's like standard operating procedure. And I did catch a little bit of, her live where she's, they have all kinds of stuff that they could charge her with, blah, 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 blah. There's bruises on those kids. Okay. First of all, let me just stop you right there. Okay. Let's say there were bruises. There is knowing, and then there is proving. And there's two very different things. So, while you're directing the FBI on how they should, conduct the search and what would be best for the people they're conducting the searches, what shifts they should take and how much it's better to be working for 8 or for 10 hours than for 18 or whatever. Like this is, come on.
Even though they have a 95% conviction rate, the FBI
does. Maybe do a little bit of research before you start offering up. Like, I am not a lawyer. Okay, at all. I didn't go to law school. Have I watched a ton of trials and learned some things? Absolutely. But do you think that I would march, if I ever was charged with a crime, do you think that I would have the balls to go in that courtroom and represent myself? Hell no.
Yeah, me neither.
You know what I mean? So
I'd be like, lawyer right away.
I was going to say, I have the right and the ability to keep my damn mouth shut. If
I was even remotely close to a case, I'd get a lawyer, and I'd probably look shady as hell, but
I wouldn't care how I looked. If I were to be questioned, I would absolutely. I don't care what the circumstances were. I would get a lawyer anytime I'm talking to law enforcement, because they know the laws and I don't.
Yep.
You betcha. Yep. Absolutely.
Exactly.
LFT, you said you had a question. What was your question?
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. I wanted to ask, what do y'all for, I guess, chat and people on panel, in terms of Leilani, and again, just going with what law enforcement has said so far in terms of her being the only suspect or prime or whatever verbiage you want to use. If you had to say right now, do you think Leilani is more scared about like what's happened to her child or what could happen to her?
Seriously, that's your question?
What happened to her? Definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
There is no love lost in there, like those eyes. Which is very sad. It is awful.
She's acting very strange, like really.
And is it because of her behavior? Do you think it's because of Leilani's behavior right now, in conjunction with Billy Joe's, that makes Leilani stand out so much more? Like, if we didn't see Billy Joe being upset, would we still think Leilani was still as numb?
I think so. Yeah. Even if Billy Joe never even talked, just her eyes alone in the.
I think she has no. Go ahead, Jen.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
no, go ahead. No, I interrupted you. You go ahead.
I was just saying, because I feel like I go back and forth, because regardless, it's a terrible situation to be in for anyone. And I look at Billy Joe at times, and I think her heart breaks at times. Of course, most definitely for her grandchildren. I'm going to put them all in as a whole. But I think she is like that agony and like I think you said it one night, it was like repugnant that she looked like when she turned away, because she's so, it's like she's fighting those two emotions too. Like, am I so sad about this, about just my grandchildren, or am I also fighting the fact that I think to a degree, I believe my daughter has something to do with this and what's going to happen to her. Like, I just think she has like her anguish.
I'll be honest.
Legit.
I was a judgy bitch with her. I was a very judgy bitch with her initially, and I feel bad now. I do feel bad.
It changes for me daily. I don't know.
I
feel bad a little bit. Like,
I think, it's the loss of child that breaks my heart for her. It's the pain of that, and it's the guilt that she's going to have to live with for the rest of her life.
True.
That I feel bad for. Other than that, cards are on the table, sister. You're going to have to, and you wrote that text too. Like, even if I have to go to jail, I don't understand that comment. I do not understand that. Why would you write that as well?
I think she means for the neglect. Like, if it comes out, like, because so many people have said at least I think so. I don't know, that she would face charges because of neglect. Unless she knows and she's not speaking, I don't know why she made that comment.
I mean, everyone makes mistakes, and you want to put faith in your, like, especially when your kids are adults, I imagine, you want to, like, have faith in your children that they'll be good parents. And I'm sure she would have never imagined that her daughter would do that. You know what I mean? So I feel bad for her. I do. Like, everyone makes mistakes.
I do, but let me tell you, my 21-year-old daughter, if I thought that she harmed her child / my grandchild, I would be in jail. There'd be two down.
My son murdered some like random person, I would have his back all the way, even if he was wrong. I would, because it's my kid. But if my son murdered his own child, my grandchild, then it would be a whole different story. You know what I mean? Like,
that's where I am. I love my daughter with everything in me. She's everything to me. So is my son, but I'd hurt her.
I have both. Like, I have my daughter, and I have, and she's got my granddaughter, and I have to be perfectly honest. I don't actually know what I would do. I think that I know what I would do, and I feel that I would go through feeling both, feeling so incredibly angry and wanting to just, but then I think I know that I would vacillate between both ends. I would be livid, and then I would be terrified and sad at the same time, because it is still a loss either way. And so I don't know exactly how I would react. So I try for me, it isn't about the lack of tears for me with Leilani, because there are people, I'm one of those people. It's, can I cry? Sure. But do I? Not very much.
Right.
And so, especially not in front of people. And so it isn't so much the not crying for me. It's actually what the words that she chooses to use, the sentences that she puts together for me that make me just side eye her, quite honestly. And the fact that I find it interesting that she is so, the finger's being pointed squarely at her, and so she knows how that feels, yet she is pointing the finger at Danny through other people, having other, you know what I'm saying? And that's problematic for me, not gonna lie. It's a deal. It's an issue.
Everybody. They pointed the finger at the babysitter, Danny, her ex-boyfriend, the dad.
Now it's Danny, though. Now it's Danny.
Yeah.
Why isn't he being looked at?
First, Bubba took. So this is what gets me too, and this is why I don't believe her one bit. First, she's gonna tell the cops Bubba took him. Bubba came, picked him up in the middle of the night. She woke up and he's gone.
And she even told her mom that.
Yeah. Then suddenly she doesn't remember. Then Billy Joe says Leilani told her herself. She literally said this word for word. Leilani told me she doesn't remember anything from that night. Then it goes
the FBI.
Then it goes to Danny now. Now they're trying to say Danny. I mean, we've been through 3 different people they've tried to blame. She's said 3 different stories. I mean, it just does not add up. at all.
Well, and you do know the theory now is that she's pregnant because, and I don't think she is. There's the baby Amazon wish list.
I heard that today for the first time.
Apparently, Billy Joe has a wish list. See, I don't think I would feel about Billy Joe the way I do sometimes if she didn't have people speaking for her. You know, like if she was, it's the way, like, don't talk to anybody, or which is fine, but just is making it worse. But she has a wish list, apparently, allegedly, that has newborn stuff all over it.
Well, there could be very innocent reasons for that. She could be thinking that, she could be thinking that when this is all over with, she could, she might be thinking, I'm going to try to get the baby back, or, give close to the baby. I don't.
That's true.
I will say that what I love about YouTube, and also it frustrates the ever loving hell out of me, is watching the weight that people give different things. Different people give different things different weights. And I always am fascinated by what people pay attention to and what they think is important. And it's, I mean, everybody has their own perspective, and I don't think anybody's actually wrong. I mean, they're just thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, even if that's all true, I feel like it's probably like innocuous.
That's true.
I'm trying to figure out what the heck that was in the pool, though. There's pictures that something.
Did someone throw something into the pool? It looked like someone. I thought it was like something somebody threw. But what is it?
Well, there was fish nets all around the memorial and horse manure.
Well, I thought the family put
Yes,
Billy Joe. The family did manure.
Billy Joe put horse manure, and
that bothers me
that's
too.
the part that makes you go back the other way. You know, it's hard. Yeah,
I get it. It's annoying. You got people screaming outside of your house, but to like while you have all this going on,
throw it at them then.
feed into like the.
I don't know. I made that joke
around the candles, like the circular.
Memorial.
Yeah, like that little.
I don't know if I would go. I don't know that I would do that, but I did joke.
I don't think you would, Jen.
When they were protesting in front of Laundry's house, that if it were me in that home, I would be each day unleashing a different one of the 7 plagues of Egypt. But I wouldn't go and wreck a memorial. Like I wouldn't do that to a memorial. No, but I would unleash locusts.
Just stayed inside. They didn't engage at all.
No, they didn't.
Or like the disco ball outside the fence. Like, I don't know.
Nay, actually, somebody made me think of that. Oh, yeah, it was on my life.
Oh, my God, Parker.
But I got it from somebody else on Twitter that said that there's that sewer, that's right next to the memorial. And so people said, are they covering a smell up and not just putting it around there?
There's nothing that covers that smell up.
No.
That's what I thought. From what I've heard, that it's like you would not, you can't, that was what the big Watts thing was, is how did he cover up that smell because it's so bad.
He covered up that smell because he was quick thinking. They didn't have time to really, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, really? I'm so interested to hear your thoughts on that. Can I ask her that, guys?
You can ask her anything you want.
Can you give me, because I only know Natasha's Jen Lou back then. So, what are your theory about the Watts case? Like, how do you think there was no smell and stuff?
Because it was quick. I think in order for there to be a smell, I mean, yes, decomp occurs quickly, right? Mm-hmm. So would a canine be able to pick up the smell? Yes. But a human, probably not. What he did was he did everything very quickly. He unalived everybody, loaded them all up into that truck. The girls were I go back and forth sometimes between whether they were alive or not.
I know, me too.
But either way, everything he did was extremely quick. Mm-hmm. And so there wasn't time, it's not like they sat in the house and then, 12 hours later, so everything was very quick. And that's why we as humans couldn't smell it, but dogs would have been able to.
Within 2 hours, they were placed where they were placed.
Correct. Very quickly.
And so even if she released herself, like he said, or something, that it's still, he could have cleaned that up quick.
Well, he
Yeah.
did. He. Oh,
Did
how
he
do I say this?
retract that, or was that? Did he
No,
keep that?
no. He kept that in.
Okay.
He wrapped her in a sheet, but then put her
Mm-hmm.
in garbage bags to kind of conceal some of the.
See, that's why I think
So there'd be no
had to,
seepage,
was it
as it were.
premeditated that he could think? I don't know. I just wouldn't have been. I would have panicked had I even like in a split second. I don't know that I would have thought of to do it that quickly, but
I think when people are in a very desperate situation, and I don't like, I can't tell you by the definition of the law, was it premeditated? Yes, because the minute that you have a second to deliberate and then you do it,
that's right.
then it's premeditation. But did he plan it?
That's right. I forgot about the premeditation thing.
I do think he molded over him because
He's also
I think
serial. I think so too. I think he thought
well,
about
technically he's not a serial, because serial killers, it has to be more than one person, but they can't be related. They can't be connected to each other.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's what makes the difference, is the that's why they go undetected.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they got to be I thought the same thing. I was like, well, what's the difference? So then I went, what did I do? Head up the Googles. And that's the distinction.
I didn't know that at all.
What did I just say the other day, LFT? I was like, I'm Google Esquire.
That's because why wouldn't they call like school shooters those, right? Because they're not. They're called mass.
That's and 4 people. I think that's a mass murder, but it'd be in one sitting.
Right. And you can be a serial killer and have 2 unalivings in the same day. It's the victims not being connected. That's what differentiates that from,
Write it down, boys and girls, so you learn
he's
something
a family
every day.
annihilator is what he is. And I do think he molded over. I think he was getting desperate. I think that he really wanted to have both. And I think he was thinking that he could juggle both. And I'll tell you what I think. I think that Shanann got that text alert on her phone from the lazy dog. And I think she had already been, because the text messages to her friends, she knew something was amiss, but couldn't. But I think that the lazy dog thing, that I think was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And when you, bless her heart, when you watch her walk up to her house, she's determined. She's looking at her phone, and she has
going to make it work.
She has a purpose. I think she was intending to confront him, is what I think. And I think that when Chris realized he's not going to be able to juggle both, that's when he did what he did. That's what I think it was.
Sometimes I think if he would have seen her text message where she's like, I know I've probably come off wrong and all this stuff, like if he would have had if he thought she was going to act different. But I also truly believe he thought he loved Nicole. I
think he was too far gone.
Definitely thought about it before, especially because of the way like his family was. I remember they talked about, they had him write that letter. It was like,
but I feel different about that letter. I there's something wrong about that letter. First of all, the fact that date is written so ginormously means
it looks a lot different.
It's like when you're writing something, right, and you want to emphasize a specific word, what do? You print it and you write all in caps. That's how you emphasize. So because the whole letter was pretty much just, wasn't cursive, the fact that the date on the letter is so big is because it was intended for it to appear as if it was written well before. That's the problem I have with that date. There is something wrong. Exactly. There is something very wrong about that date. It doesn't quite fit or sit right with me. And that's just what I think. And I don't know. I don't know. Chris was not like, he wasn't like book smart, but he was somewhat street smart. He was manipulative. Never underestimate how smart you have to be able to manipulate others. And he manipulated so many people, because you hear he was such a nice guy. He was such a nice guy. Nice guys don't screw around on their wives. and they don't unalive them while they're pregnant, and they don't unalive their own 2 children.
Yeah.
Nice guys don't do that. He's a monster.
Well, and even after, like, well, I'm going to plead guilty to save them from a trial or whatever. Like,
that was to save his own ass.
That was exactly, he doesn't want, exactly. It's him, I see a lot of similarities between Chris Watts and Lori Vallow in that Lori is manipulative in that same way. And for Lori, she doesn't want people to hear the details because then people would know exactly what kind of monster she is, just like with Chris Watts. That's why the trial wasn't saving anybody but himself. He's selfish.
Yeah.
Creep.
Still, he still put to this day, look what he puts his family through.
Well, he's not
he pisses me off.
To be such a martyr. Like he's
yes.
Right?
Yes.
He's such a martyr. He's such a martyr. Like I'm doing this so that I don't have to put the family through it or no, you're not. No, you're not.
Exactly. No, you're not.
That's probably part of it. Because you don't want to sit there and have to watch it either. That's the other part because of how it's going to affect you or their opinion of you. That's part of that inner of like, I don't want to do it. But that's bullshit because that's self-preservation. And
which is why the jailhouse religion is so important to him because it's the only thing he has to hang on to. Because when he closes his eyes at night, he knows what he did.
I always thought Chris was like a baby back bitch, and like he just like too scared to like confront the situation and live with it. So let me just kill my family. Like
exactly.
I think he was a coward, but in like a didn't want to like face it in life type coward. And then
absolutely, I think he's still like that.
Because it's not even like NK was this submissive little girl. Like everyone said, well, Shanann was awful or whatever. Nikki was not like real submissive. She was pretty. Do we not see her text?
Yeah. I mean, look, she was controlling his macros. She was talking about his decorating and his finances. Yes. Like she was going to be the dietitian, the accountant, the all the things. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, look, she's problematic and too, but mostly because this is my issue with NK. All right. I don't like how she tries to pretend she didn't know Shanann was pregnant. Yes, you did. Stop playing. First of all, you went to their house. Okay. You went to their house and you should have known as a woman that is not a house of a wife or of a couple that's split up and they're just living together because it's cheaper that way. Don't play NK and don't play with me for reals. I'm the last one you want to joke around with because I can see right through you, ma'am. You knew what you were doing and you didn't care. You knew, just say it. Just say it.
She's a manipulative bitch. Don't, wandering around the house, while he's cooking and first of all, what? Where are you going? Why are you going upstairs? Like nobody goes upstairs in my house. I don't, what?
Remember when she sat in the car and he didn't go after her. And that was like,
I want to know where those were. So many questions on that, but
I want to
know where those videos went. I do too.
I think they have those. I think that they sat down. I know that they sat down and went through all of what they had up until that point. And they decided piece by piece what they were going to release and what they were not going to release. And that's the thing is that, I've said this 1,000,001 times. At the end of the day, if you're basing any theory solely on the discovery, it's very other than if it's a different theory than what Chris confessed to, as far as what he pled to, because you don't have all of the information. You have what they decided that was okay, was good enough for the public. And there's a ton of stuff missing from that. There has to be. And so
there is.
It's good to read the discovery. Don't make no mistake. I'm not discouraging anybody from reading it, but I don't think that you can say, well, this happened or this didn't happen based on the discovery. You know what I mean?
There was some things you can do that with location and text messages and things like that. You can place people where they were supposed to be or where they said they were at times. We were able to do that with text messages, cell locations, things like that. But that is a long and tedious ass job for somebody that already confessed. Let me tell you.
True. Yeah. That makes sense.
We went through that with not a fine tooth comb. I mean, we went through that like needle in a haystack. Like we pulled out each piece of hay and went through it.
Oh, like a needle in a stack of needles, really.
It really, it was. And it was
a lot.
It was interesting. And I learned a lot. And that was the case that was definitely the one that set me off. But I don't know if we'll ever get that much information ever dropped again on a case. Like that's the thing.
Oh, the West Memphis 3 case has everything.
I know. I've been trying to get into that. It's just so.
Sounds like that with morphine.
Don't listen. If you haven't got into it already, I'm gonna just don't do it, Parker. Only because it's one of the. I've been doing it for 20 years now. Over 20 years now.
Oh God.
And and I will say this. I know that in our little YouTube community, people think of me as, oh, Jen knows all about everything there is to know about the West Memphis 3. I know quite a bit, but I would never label myself an expert on the West Memphis 3 ever.
Jax was saying, he's like, you have no idea, Parker, because he said, I've got so much on it. And he said, it's just so in depth. It's just,
there's
a lot and I guess everyone else on panel. How do you pick which cases you decide to dive into?
Ones that move me.
I like cases where they're like, I like getting into like the trials, emotions, and I like stuff that's like, I don't know, like I got really into the Morphew case, and I think I had a very different view of that because we have a roofing business. And I feel like a lot of the things that people thought were like dead giveaway evidence weren't like that for me. Like him dumping bags in different dumpsters, like that is kind of normal in the construction business. I mean, it's frowned upon, but people do that all the time, especially on a Sunday when things are closed. And you don't want to dump it all in one dumpster because then they'll call and report you. So if you do a little bit here and a little bit there, it avoids the payment of dumping. And we work on holidays all the time. Mother's Day isn't that big of a holiday to me. Like even though I'm a mom, I don't really like make it a big day. I don't really care to like make a big deal out of it. If we had a job with our business, then I would probably tell Dave to work on Mother's Day if it was something that like, and you have to keep in mind too, he was working 2 jobs. He had another job besides his business and then his hobbies and stuff. So he was busy like all the time. So I really, and then when all
Allie, we love you.
The court stuff. See you, Allie.
Hi, Allie.
The court stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can hear my son hacking. Okay, hold on. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Don't even worry about it, Parker. Don't even worry about that. Go ahead, Kate.
But I never thought they had a good case, and I never really was confident in their evidence, like the way they presented their like you could see their arrest warrant was written up like a really dramatic novel, like the wording and everything they used.
They were a little extra. I have to say that I'm
extra.
I've never seen an arrest warrant written up quite like that before. I have to say,
and then it came out towards the end. Like for instance, they had the dog scent guy, right? They had him come. The dog picked up a scent where her bike was, and then what they did was so sneaky. Instead of getting the report, reaching out to the guy who brought the dog and getting his report, they had the deputy or whatever who was there write up his own report. And then they tried to strike the expert who had the dog from testifying. And then the judge was like already annoyed by them and thought they were, being sneaky about things. So he was like, oh no, I want to hear what he has to say. And I want to compare it to the deputy's report. And the deputy's report was completely different than the scent dog guy's report. And way different than the body cam footage. He made him put the body cam footage on too. And in the body cam footage, you could see the dog picked up the scent, but the guy said that it didn't pick up a scent. So there was a lot of stuff. And then the pings when they said he was like chasing her around the yard, the expert literally emailed them and was like, there's a good possibility it could be from static drip, like, which is when like satellites try and pick a location in a small area and it kind of like bounces around. If anyone ever looks at Find My iPhone, sometimes you'll see it'll like be in the middle of a river and you know somebody's not in the middle of the river.
Right.
Like mine has done that before. So the expert literally told them, like, you can't really rely on this too much. Like, you're going to have to prove in other ways it could be static drip. And they made it seem like they had these, like, they made the evidence seem like it was a lot more than it was. All of it. And they really didn't have much.
Who do you think the other potential suspects might be if it's not?
Well, she was cheating on him with another guy. And everyone was saying he was cheating, but there's literally no evidence of him cheating. She was, hopping all around the country. She even had 2 secret bank accounts that she opened. And she had the guy she was cheating with as the emergency contact. She reached out to a language school in, I forget where, Ecuador. She wanted to move to Ecuador. She reached out to a language school. And even that language school was accessed. Her account was accessed after she went missing. I don't really think they did a good job, I guess clearing her boyfriend's alibi or,
They should have just gotten a divorce.
Right?
I think there could have even, in my opinion, she could have even been talking to another, like she was obviously bored and lonely and unhappy. And her other boyfriend was far away. Like, how do we know she wasn't talking to another guy who was more local? Or she was great at hiding it, too. They wouldn't even have known she had a boyfriend if they didn't find the spy pen she was trying to catch her husband cheating on her with. She caught herself cheating. She was.
Oh my gosh, that's the thing. When you're at that point in your marriage, like, just
she was trying to catch him.
That's exactly. Parker, you and I are on the same page there. I mean, we're there. If spy pen is the next thing, I'm going to say call a lawyer. Just
really, like, not even mediation.
I don't even think he would have time for another woman, to be honest. He was working. He was just starting a business, which is really hard to do when you move and you have to restart your business. You have to spend so many hours doing that. And then he was working.
When did they move? How many years were they? They were only there like 2 years. That's
2
what I
years.
thought. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then they made a big deal out of this airplane mode when really the same thing happens when you lose service. And they had literally no service up there. Even the cops were complaining that they couldn't get service on their phones. And what else? It was so much stuff that just like, I understand how people... Is that
somebody? Sancho's calling.
Sorry.
That sounds like a Facebook ring.
That sounds like that sounds like somebody's got a boyfriend. No, just kidding. Can you imagine if I was like that though?
My friend from the Dragon Chat was calling.
I don't know how to act. I told y'all not to have me up on panels. I told y'all I don't know how to act.
Oh my goodness, Jen Liu would be the best to have on Tia LFT and Kate. I already told you about it with Willis Morgan from the Adam Walsh case.
Yes.
Oh,
and by the way, I did tell
he was an eyewitness to Adam's disappearance.
I told Nay and Crazy Mama that send them over to you. Like,
oh yeah, he's written several books, and he is adamant.
I forgot about it.
He saw Dahmer there. He is like Dahmer did it. Did it.
I was going to tell you that girls. Okay, so you know how I've been talking about this video, right? Okay,
yeah.
So it's obviously about Dahmer, right? But I'm going to talk about the victims, right? Tell their stories. Okay, so I hit up the Googles and I typed in Dahmer child, and do you know how many times? As you're and then clicked images and scrolled, only had to scroll one time, and Adam Walsh keeps popping up, and it reminded me of you girls. And I was like,
okay, well then you have to be up here with Willis, because he was actually one of the witnesses in the mall. Yeah, but in the trial, or not the trial, it's like when, they interviewed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was one of those that's in, and he has spent all of his years since then trying to convince law enforcement that it was Dahmer, because he says he saw Dahmer.
He saw Dahmer? Like he saw him?
I mean, he will say yes.
Yes. He
said he saw him
and down. Is he the one that was it a record store, bookstore? Is he the one I'm thinking of?
He saw Adam. He saw.
Yes.
It's interesting.
And then he followed. Is he the one that followed him then to Sears? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Or is that,
I believe so.
There's 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
One was written by an
he
FBI.
Wrote Frustrated Witness because no one will listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. At first, when you guys talked about it, of course, I was willing to entertain it, because you guys presented some really good, made me think about it. You know what I'm saying? And then I thought about it some more. And the more that I listen to him, because part of the video, I don't want to focus on him, because everybody knows his story and it's not about him. I'm tired of that. It's about the victims, but you can't, you have to tell a little bit, right? So I've gone back and I've been listening to his old interviews that he's given. But you know what really changed my mind and really started making me think about things is the fact, the confession tapes, or the conversations with the killer, where because they're not really it's him talking to his attorney. And so it's the fact, it's the what happened to Adam, after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how fast. And the thing is that I didn't realize until I really started digging into Dahmer about his obsession with keeping the heads.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I did not realize
he wanted to make that altar. He got really upset. Like if he couldn't get it to work, I know he put the one in the oven and it exploded, and he would get upset if he couldn't keep it. You know what I mean?
But see, what was weird about it is, in the early times, what he was trying to do was find a way to preserve it, because he wanted to remember the victim the way they were at that time. And spoiler alert, there's nothing that does that. So what was happening is he would try different combinations of different things and get frustrated, because over time, obviously, things change. But I did not. And then it later moved into making that altar, where then he had completely given up with preserving the heads and decided, okay, well, I'm going to just make an altar.
Mm-hmm.
But he did still keep. There was a head and there was a pair of hands in his refrigerator or freezer.
He was a trophy keeper.
He was a collector.
And you're right, because it says Willis Morgan, a printer working for the Miami Herald, was accosted by this man, Dahmer, but didn't respond, and the man suddenly stalked off. Morgan said he followed the man to the mall's toy department, the last place Adam Walsh. I can't believe we're going to have him on.
I can't either, because when you said his name, I was like, "Holy sheep shit!" I'm so excited. I told LFT, I'm like, "I am so excited."
He'd actually really respond, and he did. He's like, "Absolutely, let's do this. I just got to get past the election." I don't know what he does in the election, but
wow, that's
Tuesday.
Amazing, Parker. I will be there just to watch.
No,
thank you.
You gotta get up here on the panel, because you ask really good questions. I get a little starstruck, so it's a star. I'll be like, "Well, so what do you think? Did you see a knife?"
Did you see with Jen Lu's background with Dahmer and her studying? She can come from that aspect. I think that's
because
awesome.
I don't really know Dahmer very well, but I know Kate and Jen. You guys have both, and I don't I know Adam. That's it.
Well, I have a weird theory about Dahmer that most people don't agree with.
Share.
So, okay.
Share, first before I forget, because I'm ADD. Why do you think John Walsh won't entertain the idea?
I think because there's no closure in it for him. Dahmer is,
gotcha. Gotcha. That's just what I wanted to know. Okay, go ahead.
So I think I keep hearing, and this is something that's interesting to me. He keeps in each interview that he gives. So he did one with Nancy Glass, okay, and that was the Dahmer on Dahmer, right? Then he did the interview with Stone Phillips, right?
That
and
was
then
one with his dad, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Then there, yeah, and then there are the tapes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that he continues to say over and over and over again is he had this insatiable, intrusive need to possess the victims permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree that is the reason why he preserved parts, why he took pictures, but I also think that it's the story as well. What he did it's his story, and it's his way of continuing to possess them now, even though he's dead, even though obviously, he's still, in a way, he is the only person that controls the narrative, and everybody's like, well, he confessed and he said everything. I promise you he didn't. Number one. And number two, there were several bodies that there wasn't enough of to even say, oh, well, we know this didn't happen, or we know this happened. But and Nancy asks him why there was a gap for 10 years between, really, well, not quite 10 years, it's 1978 and 1987. And he said that there wasn't physically the opportunity. And I don't think that that's true.
I don't either.
I think that there are victims that we don't know about, and those are the ones Dahmer didn't want to share. Those are the ones that are just for him.
That's exactly.
Oh my.
Yes.
Gosh.
I think he would probably
guess who falls in that
about
category of that time frame?
Adam Walsh.
Yeah.
Because Dahmer was in Florida, the Miami area, and Hollywood is not that far.
He's right near where the head. Well, and Willis is not the only one. The guy that came in after him, Bill Bowen, said that he saw the Dahmer because the blue van, and he saw him put into the person with the blue van, which we would assume is Dahmer. He said he saw the man holding the boy by the arm up in the air, and the boy was yelling, "I'm not going. I don't want to go." And the man screamed, "Yes, you are." Threw him in the blue van. And, like Otis confessed to everything. I mean, all he had to do was say, "Hey, Otis, did you do it?" And he's like, "Yes." So,
because they were letting him see, what's his name? His buddy,
Henry O'Toole, right?
Otis O'Toole, Henry Lee Lucas. They were letting him see Henry and chill out with him and have phone calls and stuff. So those two would get together and,
wouldn't they take things of the crimes they watched or something? Or if I remember, somebody said Otis would like take pieces of different stories. And
yes, well, and it was proven that they couldn't possibly be there. They weren't even in the same state at the time,
right?
And
they were driving, and they were drifters. It's not like they had, and even though, like, think about it, it doesn't matter where we're looking back at gas prices and we're like, of course we could afford that, right? But that's not how it works,
right?
So like that was, when you have very little money, everything is expensive, no matter how cheap it is. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So their time doesn't work.
Do you think Dahmer would be like more so ashamed to say that he did anything to children?
Because
I think
because he has a propensity towards them. Because if you look at his young,
a lot of his victims were young. Yeah.
Well, there were.
So those are like sacred to him. There's some that are just
right, but this
freaking crazy.
If you look at those boys, they actually look younger than 13 or 14, which is how old they were chronologically at the time. The youngest victim that he was ever, before unaliving anybody, he got in trouble with not Conorak, his brother. I never can say his first name correctly, so I'm not even going to try.
His brother,
the 14-year-old.
No, he was 13. He was 13, his brother was 13. Wait, yes, at the time. Okay. Actually, it's his older brother. And then time had passed. And so, yeah, because Conorak was 14. But there was another boy in between there. And he was also 14. But when you look at his picture, he looks very young.
Okay.
And it's also the type. Okay, so it's not only do they look young, right? But puberty does things to each of us, and I think you all can know where I'm going. But the ethnicity of the synthesophones and the other boy they weren't very hairy, and so they looked even younger.
Even how Adam Walsh was found is very Dahmer-like, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
And there's multiple people that says his van was over, or he could be spotted over the distance, over yonder.
Yeah, and I don't think it's about this is what I truly believe. I truly believe that there are more victims between Stephen Hicks and Steve Toomey, because that's the 9-year gap, part of which he was in the military. Okay. But I think that the victims, those, for whatever reason, that period of time for him is very sacred. That's special. And he's kept it for himself.
Maybe
he's
because
not
Adam was the
about
biggest case.
So
I don't know.
Adam would fall how early in the line for him in terms
right in the middle, I think.
1981.
He would have been in between. He would have been after Stephen Hicks, but before Steve Toomey.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Parker, what day are you doing this?
Well, I'm gonna set up a phone call for this week because I just want to, talk to him, and here's what we're planning.
Oh, that's a good idea, Parker.
Yeah,
that helps.
Because I don't want to be like, hey, Willis, hop up here. So tell us about that day. I'm sure there's been some trauma in it for him too. So I'd prefer not to re-traumatize him. But and then I'm just gonna get with you ladies and see what day, and if we can find a time that all of us,
The only day I can't do it is Monday.
Okay.
Monday night is out for me.
Monday nights are out. Okay, good.
I can also see him maybe steering away from children after, not steering away, but maybe going a little older, and for people who were prostitutes and things like that, because it's not as much heat on him, I guess. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Well, I think when
he changed his tune because of how.
Well, I think for Dahmer, Dahmer had several run-ins with law enforcement, right? And very early on. So the first run-in would have been with Stephen Hicks, right? We all know that story. And what he learned something that day. He learned to be cool, calm, and collected, and it served him later on. And so I think that,
like Richard Allen.
I think with as far as kids, I think with Dahmer, he also learned how to hunt better. And he learned very quickly that men of color and gay men, first of all, men, period, right? They don't get the same attention when they go missing as a woman does, flat across the board. Then you have men of color, right? They get even less. And then gay men too, and they get even less. And that's what he learned. That's where he lived, That's why he hunted where he hunted. It was
That's
not.
what I mean. It seems like maybe he could have started out as that, seeing children as easy victims to just grab, but then realizing that maybe a cute young little boy who was abducted.
I think he was attracted to younger boys.
I did too.
I think he was attracted to younger boys. Quick question. Lynn has a question for everybody. How many official victims does Dahmer have, and how many victims do you actually think? I think
I have no idea.
There's 17 official victims.
But there's so, I think we have at least twice that many, maybe more, that are not accounted for, that he hasn't spoken about.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's 24 might be a little high, but I would go at least 20, because I will say that and that is unalived victims. There are victims that survived.
That, yes, the zombie type things that he did, right?
Well, yeah, not so much that, but more, because everybody he tried to make a zombie never made it out. It was the but there was the bathhouse. He prowled the bathhouses, and he did almost unalive somebody unintentionally, but they were able to revive them. And rather than like the police, that's how he learned. Really, for sure, about how law enforcement at that time regarded gay men, because the bathhouse owner did call the cops and said, this is who it was. And they didn't even question him. You know what they told the bathhouse owner? Don't let him around. And if he comes back, call us. They didn't go actively looking for him.
Damn.
Man, even the FBI tried to get law enforcement to listen. Dahmer worked at a sub shop just a couple minutes away from the mall. And like, I guess the FBI called Florida police and said, you got to look at this. This guy is someone who is living in your area and killed prior. And they just would not. I don't know what it was.
Sleep on the beach.
Sorry.
Or sleep wherever he could. Yeah.
He'd been arrested for exposing himself on the beach 2 times to 2 12-year-olds and essay of a 13-year-old. Wow.
So go back to that prepubescent time.
Yeah, and here's the thing. What is one common theme, other than possessing the victims, that he always talked about? Total control. And he wanted to, it always started out with, he wanted to like hold them, but what he didn't want was any expectation in return. And I think that he didn't want kissing. He didn't want any of that. And he did not want to give the other person any type of pleasure. He's very, very selfish in that way. And he dehumanized. And I think he was attracted to young boys initially. But I think that what he learned is, number one, they're not as easy to control as you think they are. And number two, when they go missing, they're missed immediately. It's different the older that they get. And so that's, I think,
it's crazy because it says when the police questioned him, he said, Neil, he denied it and said, Neil, the FBI or the agent, anyone who killed Adam Walsh could not live in any prison ever. And that was it. That's crazy. Sorry, this is blowing me away.
I'm really looking forward to your coverage on this, Parker. I really am. Like, I can't wait to like get down and dirty with you on this one, because
I'm trying to.
We looked at it, and we read this book, and now I have to go back, and that's why I was like, when are you doing this? Because I can go back and read the book again, because it was good.
It is good, but what was it? Didn't we talk about this? What was it that makes, or our thoughts about why did law enforcement pick Toole over Dahmer? What was it that was like clutch for them?
They said because he confessed, and Dahmer said no, and Dahmer has never said no to any of the cases. So
because he confessed, but then didn't he recant and like change stories
several times?
So he did it just to mess with the Walshes. That was his thing. It was a mind screw over the. And
Walsh. John Walsh won't speak on why, but now actually with Jen's opinion, that makes me much more. That makes more sense.
Dahmer's a very, very okay. On the surface, if you're just listening, right? And you're listening but not hearing, you know how you can do that. And you listen to Dahmer, you hear, it sounds like he's confessing, he's pouring his guts out, right? But then if you go and watch somebody like Ed Kemper, it's very different. There is an honesty, and it's so weird, but this is why Kemper fascinates me. He's manipulative too, don't get me wrong, and he's not telling the whole truth. But there is a different level of honesty and it's and self-awareness that Kemper has. And it's probably because, when he unalived his grandparents, they sent him to a psychiatric hospital. So he knows all the, he's been analyzed, right? But Dahmer says things
Kemper,
like,
okay, I know who he is. He's the tall
oh
one,
yeah, the
right?
co-ed killer. Yes.
Yes.
And he
Okay, thank
fascinates
you.
me.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
he
know exactly who
fascinates me.
that is. Mhm.
Because when Dahmer talks about it was me, leave my family alone, it was me, it was my selfish need, I knew that it was wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's very hollow. He's saying the words that he knows people want to hear. And it's, it is what it is. And I firmly, firmly believe, because there's a part in the Conversations with a Killer where he is talking about the Synthesiphone brothers, not knowing that they were brothers. He was shocked that he was told after the fact, right? But if you and I've rewatched it like 30, just that part, 30, not 37 times, but a ton, because the first time I heard it and I was like, wait, what? Right? So I rewound it, and then I watched it again, and then I watched it a few more times. And the thing of it is that the shock, just listen to it. Just listen to it. That's all I'll say, because I don't want to ruin it for people. But it's just interesting. It's interesting when you hear them speak. And I always have to take into consideration too, all of these interviews, they are edited. So, there are length, there's, pieces that are a flowing conversation, but then there's an abruptness sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the editing is. Like when Leilani was asked, she was clearly asked a question that she responded to, but we didn't hear the answer.
Right.
And that's when I was like, well, you got to keep that in mind, like she didn't just bust out with that. She was asked a question.
Right.
So,
right.
There you have, but when he's able to speak and it's uninterrupted without editing, you'll hear it. You can't not hear it. You hear it.
Once you hear it,
well,
he's
exactly.
Willis is the one that does frustratedwitness.com and justiceforadam.com, which has about every picture, every case file. Like
that's where we got a lot of our information from.
I'll send it to you, Jen, because it's like, you'll be overwhelmed. You'll just be like,
oh, absolutely. I'm fascinated whenever I think there's an injustice.
Oh God, it just takes you down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after and then
I need a new rabbit
literally
hole.
Spent since 1981. He's invested like his whole life into Justice for Adam.
Because I will look at what he wrote, right, and then I'll run through the loopholes, because that's how I roll. Like, why are they not believing him? There has to be a reason why. What is the deal? Which I feel like you're good at that too, Parker. You just do it in a different way.
Yeah.
And so I think that I would definitely but I really
it took a long time. He said he didn't get a lot of the records until 2012. He had to hound them which probably is pretty standard. I mean,
well,
we have that timeline, I think, Tia, on the release, didn't we? Okay.
Yeah.
So, some of the problem is, his dad.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Because
really?
Yes, Lionel has entertained. I cannot even believe that he's even entertaining this, but he wants to sue the producers of the series on Netflix, and the tapes. Okay, listen, Lionel. I don't know if you watch Decipher, but Lionel. Listen, Lionel, listen. Okay, I'm going to give you a nickel's worth of free advice here. Okay, cut your shit. Stop trying to make money off of your son. Okay, you had every opportunity in the world to intervene. You knew something was wrong with that boy, and I gave you a little bit of a pass because I truly believe that part of what you thought was wrong with him you didn't want to confront because you knew it was tied into him being gay and you weren't ready to deal with that. And I understand, I ain't judging you for it. It wouldn't be me, but every parent parents differently, and it was a different time then, and I get that. So I'm going to cut you a little bit of slack, but you need to quit trying to make money off of your son and stop, those tapes don't belong to you. You know, damn,
Mm-mm.
I don't give a rat's fat kneecap if you paid for those lawyers. They don't belong to you. They belong to the attorneys. And since their client, your son, doesn't matter who paid, that's their client. And that's the legality of it. It's their,
Well,
those
now
are
I need to
their
go watch
tapes.
that. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm tired of
On
your shit,
Netflix.
Lionel. Like, get it together, bruh.
Lionel.
What's his name?
It
I
is.
know,
The
it's
guy I
really funny.
interviewed. The guy I interviewed, Josh. I'm gonna ask him what he thinks about.
Yes, Kate.
he's
That was
really
a good
nice.
interview too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's like huge with Dahmer. I'm gonna ask what he thinks about the Adam Walsh thing because he'll probably be into that.
He
At
had
first-
a lot of good insight on like that was a
Go ahead.
really good interview. Then I get like this is at night. Like it was like that time a long time ago when Jen Sharp told this. It wasn't even a ghost story. It was just freaky shit that scared the mess out of me about that girl hiding up in the tree with the
Oh my
night
God,
vision
yes.
goggles on.
It's still
was
stuck
like
with
I
her.
need I still like I'll leave a light on. And so I was listening to part of Kate your conversation about Dahmer, and then I started to get really freaked out, and I was like, I gotta watch like where is Nick Jr. Like I literally just have to. It just I'm so
Well,
like I want to.
also,
I need to do it in daylight hours.
Jen Sharp's voice totally helped that when she got into it.
Oh my God, don't.
I love it.
Oh.
You're giving LFT some. I can hear it. Some flashbacks.
Dahmer was a cannibal.
Her
Dahmer
scared.
was a cannibal. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
What's the guy's name again? Willis or
Willis Morgan. Look
All
up
right.
Justice for Adam.
Yeah, it's Frustrated Witness was his book, and Justice for Adam
is one of his websites.
I think it does not have. Is that the one we got all the police?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it has the pictures of everything, the seers, everything.
And then the reports are in there. There's also a really good FBI report in there, Parker. That I think I got stories. Listen, come up here, Holy. You can tell your stories. There's a really good FBI report that's in there. You got to look for it.
I will. They did loot the entire car too. There's that.
I think it's the summary. Oh God! See, now it's been a couple months, and now I've had cases in between.
I'll look it up because I'm going to dabble in it.
We definitely have like a whole.
Yeah, that's a good summary of the case, though.
You know who I want to try to find?
Who
is the psychiatrists that interviewed Dahmer? You know, because he had one for one from his team, and then obviously one for the state. And they will on just about every, not like Dahmer on Dahmer, but lately here they have been interviewing. They put him with the confessions or conversations with the killer. One of the psychiatrists is featured in that, but they don't like talk to them long enough or go enough in depth with them. They're the people that sat down with Dahmer for the longest amount of time, and they're the ones that evaluated him, and yet they hardly let them speak. And even though Court TV has been like re-uploading to YouTube, it's still on their website, but they've been re-uploading like testimony from the trial or whatever. They haven't put all of it up there. You know what I mean? Like there's parts missing. So I want to talk to the psychiatrists. That's who I want to hear.
They all still live. Well, I'm assuming they're all still living.
Yeah, because
I wonder
that
if they're
one was
even
in that.
willing. Are they willing to talk? Do you think?
Well, they must be if they were interviewed for conversations with the killer. One of them was willing to do that. So they have to be willing to talk. I want to know what they bought that Dahmer told them and what they didn't buy. That's what I want to hear about. Also, hi Wilson man.
I love Wilson man. Thanks for coming in.
I do too. Wilson man. Hey,
I gotta hop down. I gotta go get my son medicine.
Hey,
Parker. Vicks on the bottom of the feet.
On the
bottom of the feet.
That's right. I gotta try that. I'm gonna. If you sleep,
do it right now. It works. Do it.
Socks on. It works.
Mm-hmm.
It's mysterious, and just do it.
It's magic and it works.
I'm gonna try it.
I'm telling you.
It's the weirdest thing.
My grandmother did it.
Well,
My
then it's
nana
gotta
swears
work.
by it. My nana swore by it.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now.
Does it work for coughing?
Yes.
Everything.
It works for everything.
It's like what was it? My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where he's like, I put Windex on it. It's
Yeah.
my pimple. Like apparently
Exactly.
Vicks does the same thing. Yeah.
Vicks does, the Greeks have Windex, the Mexicans have Vicks.
I love Vicks.
I was
Vicks
up
is
so
where
late
it's
the
at.
other night because I kept getting that like tickle that makes you cough.
Uh-huh.
And, like it's like 4 a.m. and I'm like,
Okay, I'm dipping. See,
Bye, Parker. Yeah,
Bye.
Vicks on the
Thank
bottom
you,
of your feet.
Parker.
And put socks on.
Vicks on those feet.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not
then,
like
that.
just
Like
on the
behind
bottoms.
ears too.
Mm-hmm. On the chest. It works obviously where it tells you like there's directions on the back. Trust me, none of the instructions say anything about on the bottoms of the feet, but that's because they don't know.
I don't know why that works, but it really does.
It does.
It's the most fascinating thing to me.
And I love that when you say it, everyone else is like, wait, I've heard that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody has.
Like, no matter what, everyone's like, wait a minute, I've heard that.
Yeah,
right.
Now
so
I'm all creeped out.
Oh,
don't be creeped out. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
Dahmer's no longer with us. It'll be fine.
Yeah, go watch some Disney movies. You'll be fine.
What did I tell you about Disney movies? Like Hocus Pocus.
I know. That's why I said that.
Like, what Disney does not narrow it down.
No, Disney is not. Don't send her there. Go watch My Best Friend's Wedding or some chick flick. I don't know, whatever chick flicks are. The only one I like is Still Magnolias.
Stop.
Oh my gosh, Jen Lou, now I just loved you even more.
Oh, Weezer's my spirit animal.
Oh my god! If you knew the amount of gifts and Still Magnolia talk that goes on a weekly basis between us.
Oh, I can quote all kinds of shit from that movie. It's the only chick flick that I love. That's the only chick flick I like. If 87 people aren't getting slaughtered, I don't want to watch.
Me too.
You're too twisted for color TV.
Yes, I love that. I love you more than my luggage. You got the penmanship of a serial killer.
Serial killer. Womp womp.
Yeah. We'll sell T-shirts saying "I slap Weezer Boudreaux."
Are you high, Clary?
The only reason people are nice to me is because I have more money than God.
Oh my God! See, she's okay. Now my fangirling is it's real.
But look what I wrote. LFT, look what I wrote in chat. Jen Lou, do you see what that says? Love you more than my luggage.
Love you more than my luggage. I love you more.
It comes up on my like.
Yeah, it's my recommended. Love you more than my luggage.
And I do think that when she snatches up Clarice, that's how I would be affectionate after an apology. I would be like, "Get your roots done."
No, she won't give her. See, that would be me not giving Tia like the seat. Like I would like, no, don't sit next to me. No.
Get off my bench.
Yeah.
Get off my bench.
Oh my God, I love Weezer.
I love Weezer
Trump
too.
will never point a gun at a lady. Yeah, and I bet he takes the dishes out of the sink before he pees in it too.
Clary, this is just a gesture. We're not feeding drum until the end of time.
I love a good piece of ass, Weezer.
I'm charitable. Damn it, I smiled at Drum the other day at the Piggly Wiggly before I couldn't help myself.
Oh, Lord.
Drum Eaton.
I love that movie.
They probably make you eat a chicken or kill a chicken first. Not on your first visit.
Spoken like a true smart ass.
Oh my God.
Which is funny to me because their twang is more like Alabama, Georgia, less Louisiana. I've never heard anybody speak that slow in Louisiana.
Oh, I love that movie so much. It's so
God, it's so good.
I could quote movies. I could quote that movie all day, all night with you guys. That's
Me too. Thank you guys for being here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the link, sister.
We need to do this we need to rotate one time a week around the channels and just talk about general true crime.
And Kate, I totally last minute, I was like, hey, what are you doing? She was like, nothing. I'll come up.
That's the thing about Kate. If you invite her, she'll show. She's great about that.
I will.
Please go
If
subscribe.
you just give me like, even if you give me like an hour time, I'll be there.
See,
Well,
that's
and
what
you
I like
come
about our
prepared.
community. We're very supportive of one another, and I think that needs to happen more. Like, I know we get very frustrated with the trauma aspect, and the thing is, let's just say the truth. Ain't nobody finna change the trauma. There is no magic combination of words that's going to stop it. So I think the best thing for us to do that really just want to talk true crime, avoid the drama around the true crime, is to just go around and support each other. That's all we really can do.
I agree. And that's what we want to do. That's why we drop everyone's links. You
guys are very supportive.
We try. We really try. We share community posts. If I see somebody is going live, by the way, apologies to everyone. I'm terrible about checking community posts, but if I see it, I will share it. We love going to Jen Lou's lives. We love going to Kate's live. Parker, it's like home. We've had so much fun going around the community and just learning stuff.
I have too. I have had a lot of fun just, going to different creators and listening and learning. And, I think, I think we should just do that more. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree. I love it. But I'm so glad you guys came. We're very honored that you came to our little channel and hung out with us all night. And I always learn something from everyone who comes here. And we want you back. Yeah. Come back often.
We're trying to be better about doing more like discussion kind of.
Yeah.
I like the open panel lives where I can have a conversation.
Yeah, I need to do that more on my channel too. I'm not good about doing that. I usually just invite people because and I don't know why. I think it was nerve-wracking for me to be live to begin with. I'm much more comfortable doing a video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like your lives. I learned last night.
I really do.
I thumbs it up, and so I just was tired. You know what I mean? But I was listening because I was just I don't know. You're another grounded. I don't know. You're NATO.
When you do court stuff, I'm like in. I'm like, yes.
I do like to be watching those trials. I do like to watch those trials. They do. Thank you. They fascinate me, and I love a good argument between two lawyers. This stuff that happened these last couple of days in the Wagner trial, I'm going to cover it, but I had to take a minute today because I was livid. We've had no audio for days. Today is the first time we're supposed to get back to having audio, and we're finally going to get to the meat and potatoes of the wiretaps. And here comes the defense with some kind of cockamamie-ass objection that I couldn't. Once I heard it, I was done. I was like, I'm not even going to listen anymore to y'all because you've already just made me mad. This buffoonery of y'all's has got to stop. His mama and his brother came up here, and we already heard the conversations between him and his mom where he's asking follow-up questions. This is not a man who was distancing himself from the family. You need to stop playing. You should have took a plea deal. You just thought the state's case was weak.
For the record, I did try to tell Tia about this. Like, I'd forgotten about this one, but I remember seeing it a couple of years, like when it happened and then the date, and it was, my mind was blown with how orchestrated. I was like, this is unreal. It's like a family just took out basically an entire another family.
They did. They did.
And that grandmother, she is scarier than, I don't want to know. Because remember, it was like, wasn't she supposed to be like, didn't they have like a lot of land or the horses?
Yes.
But then when,
the ranch.
It's unreal.
And she's a scammer too. She's a scammer too. She would get people to come and buy this, for sale by owner and owner finance business, and never, sold the land 87 times over, and would get evict people.
They would light houses on fire and crash cars on purpose for the insurance payouts.
They're the whole Firefly family. They're literally the devil's rejects.
And they literally got together one night and then extinguished an entire family.
Correct.
Orchestrated and went and hunted them down.
Yes.
In
not
different
one of them
locations.
thought this was a bad idea. Well, maybe
nobody
George,
stopped anybody. I don't think George did. I think this was George's chance to. George didn't stop nothing, and he didn't try to stop anything. And you can tell there were some moments when his ex-wife was up there on the stand, and he was trying. I will say this for George Washington Wagner the Fourth. What a name. Anywho, I've never seen a defendant, even a man, be able to hold an expressionless face for 87 hours. Like, he does not change his expression the entire time. But there were a couple of times when Tabitha was up there, and
oh man, the story where she had to hide under the car. Oh my gosh.
Yes, there were a couple of times when there was I can't remember exactly what she said, that George actually looked up at her. And there were a couple of times when she looked up at him or looked directly at him. And I was proud of her, because it was like her moment, like, I'm taking my power back. You and your family had me under their thumb. I was scared of all of you, because anytime one of the wives would do anything wrong, it was a family freaking committee coming at them. I wouldn't have made it in that family. I'm telling you right now. I would have been like, excuse me, bitch. Why is there a committee meeting?
They really had to hide under the car.
Yes.
And they were like walking around looking for her with flashlights, to attack her.
They drove alongside of her when she left to go to the store to escape. She walked to the store, and these buttholes pile into the car together and follow her while she's walking.
Yeah, they're psychopaths for sure.
Yeah, all of them. I mean, the family, they're just nothing but criminals. And, Angela, a lot of people were really under the assumption that, or thought that it was Billy who planned all of this. And I said from the very beginning, oh, hell no. No. Angela Wagner is the person who pulled the strings in that family. And sure enough.
I agree.
So anyway, but I'm going to get off of here, because I know you guys are trying to end this, and we'll just keep talking and talking, because there's so many freaking cases.
Because I love it.
I love it too. And I don't have, you guys are all my people. I try to talk to my husband about this, and he's like, babe, I mean, I'm excited for you that things are going great, but you know what? I don't want to hear about the 87 people that were unalive today and the horrific way that they died. Can we not talk about that tonight? But babe, and
I literally poked my husband. I'm like, did you see that? And he's like, no. I didn't. I was like, but that was blood spatter. And he's like, what?
No.
Stop it. And I'm like, no, I really. I start telling him, listen, you guys, we are sponsored. We are one of the few. We don't make money, but we have connections. Go. It's that time of year, gift giving, all kinds of things. Musicmelts.com. And we have our own little, look at that. We have our own little code for 20% off for just our community.
Yes.
Nay is the one, our Nadie.
Yes.
And friend, please go to musicmelts.com and check out her stuff.
I absolutely will. I've heard so much stuff about. I've heard so many good things about her melts.
It's amazing. Jennifer Hooligan ordered tons of like everybody. There is not one bad thing. Not one bad thing.
I just saw one of her Facebook posts today, and it's so cute because she's doing all the Christmas packaging of it, and it almost looks like Nay, how you packaged it. It kind of looks like almost like a 6-pack of cupcakes and everything. It's just
the packaging is almost as good.
I'm totally going to check it out, because it's here in Florida. It doesn't really feel Christmas weather, because obviously it's hotter than 9 kinds of hell, 25-8. But it's hard to get into the Christmas spirit. But I know if I have my sense around, I'll feel more Christmassy.
Don't worry, it's in the 80s here in North. We're in the 80s later this week in North Carolina.
Yeah, but you will eventually cool off. We're going to stay.
Yeah, but we should have by now. We're in November.
Nay, pickle juice, by the way. Yeah. Try pickle juice for your heartburn.
Oh, yeah, I heard that works well. Okay, so for reals, thank you guys for having me up. But now I'm going to leave for reals. Good night, you guys.
Thank you. And thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate you. Kate, we love you. Come back often and soon. And we will talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.